What's going on, y'all, man? Welcome back to Otaku Perspective Podcast, man. Your new favorite anime podcast. I'm your host, Jordan. Here with my co-host, we got Dwayne.
Yo, what's up, what's up?
We got TJ.
Spiraling.
We got Theo.
Weird day.
And this week, man, we reviewing Shinsekai Yori. Last week, we reviewed Nana Part 2, man, episodes 24 through 47. You can see me react to episode 1 of Shinsekai Yori on our reaction channel, Otaku Perspective Reacts. Man, this week is Dwayne week to pick what we gonna watch next week, man. So, for all that and more, stay tuned, y'all. Play the intro. All right, then, y'all, man. Let's revisit these initial thoughts on Shinsekai Yori. If we had any previous experience with this show, man, what was that like? I'll go first. Didn't know much about this show going into it. Just had heard people say it was good on the internet. You know how internet be. Just knew about that one scene with these dudes kissing, man. That was it. Other than that, I went in completely blind, man.
When I first watched it, I really just went in blind. Had no idea what I was gonna get into, whether it was gonna be good or bad. I was just picking animes. I literally seen it on Crunchyroll and just thought, the thumbnail just looked interesting enough just to catch my eye and check it out. So my initial thoughts of it was a good anime as I was watching it during the pandemic, following the previous shows that I watched. So I didn't really went into a deep thought about what I've seen. I just knew that I at least enjoyed the 1 through 25 episodes that I've seen and didn't really have anything negative about it. So that was pretty much my first impressions of it. Nothing too crazy.
Me personally, I didn't have any previous knowledge of the show. I had never heard about it or seen images of it at all until Theo had picked it. So I read some reviews, going in all right, what am I gonna be? You feel me? What should I be expecting? But even with reviews, I'm not taking them as, you feel me, gospel. So, right. I still really didn't have no expectations, but I heard it was good.
Yeah, same. I knew nothing about it. The only thing I can say is Squiller's the GOAT, man. The GOAT.
He's the GOAT,
The diabolical mastermind,
yes,
man.
Sir.
I'm gonna get into all that. All right, man. We got a show was adapted by A1 Pictures in 2012. As we said, 25 episodes. It has a MAL score of 8.27. This is the fourth highest rated show on MAL that we've reviewed so far. Is just below Nana at an 8.55 and right above Heavenly Delusion at an 8.22. The voice actors for English for Saki was Emily Neves. For Japanese for Saki, it was Aya Endo. For Satoru, for English, Greg Aries. And for Japanese, Yuki Kaji. I watched it in dub. Did you guys watch it in?
This side of the table watching dub. They watched it in sub.
Yeah, I watched it in sub.
All right, so we got 2 dub, man. We got 2 sub. Nice little balance. With all that being said, let's get into this first episode, man.
Into this shit, man. Oh, man.
All right, what's some of the notes we have for this first episode?
I would just say for the first few episodes in general. The first half wasn't my favorite, specifically the first handful of episodes. I'm not going to say it was boring, but it just really wasn't appealing to me. Mm-hmm. A lot of stuff, I had to watch some episodes a few times because it's kind of hard to catch up on some the concepts and kind of what's going on. Yeah. So the first few episodes didn't really do it for me personally.
I'd say me personally, as far as I say episode 1, definitely the first 3. I feel I like the different intro sequences that they had. Because at this point we didn't know what they were, so I was just kind of okay. I was kind of piecing together this might be history or a story or something. Right. As far as the show getting into all the students and stuff. They definitely from the get-go of the show was kind of alluding to everything's not as it seemed, and I guess a lot of the things was kind of giving me a weird vibe or something was off and I couldn't put my finger on it. Just, you know what I mean, from like the stuff they was learning in school, like I was like, why are they all doing like personality tests and like group exercise? I'm like, we're not hearing nothing about, you know what I mean, just regular like math, geography, or just writing, you know what I mean, like anything like that. So it wasn't traditional school stuff. So that was throwing me off. It was a lot of terms used as far as like their powers at the beginning that doesn't come up again. And it kind of threw me off. I'm like, okay, maybe that's important. You know what I mean? Maybe like this specific technique or this specific movement with their power come in handy, and not really. So, you know what I mean? It was just kind of like the start was, I don't know, I felt like it was like an overload of information. Yeah. But at the same time, it was kind of trying to be mysterious. So it was just like, I don't know. I felt like it was kind of like drip feeding important information, but was overloading with a lot of other like
lore stuff.
Unnecessary. Yeah, I won't even say lore. It just kind of felt like unnecessary, or I don't know. Something about me made me feel like it was kind of like slow to get through. As far as like I'm watching it, like you said, it felt kind of boring. But I'm like, I see there's some type of mystery or something going on. Something's not right. So something's you know what I mean? Like I am kind of intrigued on what's going on, but it was kind of like slow.
Yeah, because a lot of stuff you don't make the connection until the second half. Yeah, like
right.
Way later on.
Yeah,
so okay, now that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I watched episode 1 even during my first watch through and this watch through. Like I said, I really didn't know what I was getting into, but after even going back and watching the second run, I really just kind of felt, even how they started out the first episode, in the first 2-3 minutes, you just see people pretty much getting decapitated. You know, it also reminded me like Elf and Lie, like kind of power, just seeing invisible, you know, like vectors, people just getting killed in the school and all that stuff. So I kind of felt numb to it. It wasn't like it grasped my attention. I just felt really numb as watching the show because I was thinking like, all right, where's the attention getter for me as far as like watching anime and this show in particular. So, I mean, I agree with you guys. First episode was just like, like, okay, let's just see how this world builder goes. Because they switched from going to, well, it was really hard to depict from, whether it was the past or future. Because once they actually showed the main cast, you know, Saki, Maria, and all the rest of them, it's like, are we in the past or in the future? But once the dialogue kind of picked up, it was like, okay, so this is pretty much in the future. It's just what happened in the past. You know, the first sequence of the episode just kind of like threw me off for a bit, like how you guys were saying. But I was also expecting an intro for the anime, because I was like, all right, so where's the intro kicking in? Usually anime comes in with intro, but this show happened to be one of those shows where they don't have intros. Right. Maybe just 1 or 2 episodes, but all the rest is just straight outro. That was it.
Yeah, they were like really intros. They're more just like music kind of in the background while
of like
hallucinations or something was going on.
That is true.
Right, and definitely it was kind of, didn't know what kind of art style is going to go for, because we get into New World, the art style is very different, especially how the first few episodes, or first minute was. It almost gave me like a High School of the Dead kind of animation, the way how people were dying, what the school was like. But once we got to the present, it was really more of a, I don't know why, but it gave me like the Devilman's Crybaby kind of art style a little bit, just not as edgy as it was for some reason. And the coloring they show for different scenes that we'll see as we talk about throughout the show, the coloring they use for different scenarios of what actually happened for these characters kind of changes and set the tone for it. I don't know if you guys really picked up on it later on, but that's what caught my eye in the first episode. Wasn't pretty out there. It was just like, this is the attention getter. This is what stick to your mind. Just more so, all right, this is just first episode. I just brush through it and get through the second one, because there's going to be a build-up to what we know in the middle and the end of the show. So,
did y'all catch on doing like the first sequence that was like present, like not present day, but like in the past?
Yeah,
like that was like when,
like modern day.
Yeah, like that was like when they first got their powers. I don't know if y'all caught on.
I'm about to say, like, after the second or third episode, and I had like seen, you know what I mean, the sequences, I was kind of piecing together like, okay, you know what I mean, I thought that was like something that happened basically like in the past, and maybe this is where we are now, or whatever the case was.
Yeah, for the first episode, at first I thought it was firebending. I was like, I didn't know what to make of the fire. I did think it was interesting though that it's talking about they had come of age or whatever, and instead of like getting them powers or granting them powers, it's like sealing powers away. So I was like, okay, that's kind of different. And you could definitely see a setup for some like darker setting where they're talking about, you know, kids going missing from the school. They kind of alluded to like if Saki didn't like manifest her powers or whatever, like right when she did, it would have been too late, and maybe she would have been something would have happened to her.
I guess it was like with puberty, they didn't get their powers with puberty. Yeah, they was kind of alluding to it being.
So that was really more of the what I took away from that first episode is like, okay, they trying to build the stage for like maybe a darker, creepier setting where not everything is as it seems as we see.
Right.
Episode 2, we get the first mention of the karmic demon. Fifth Emperor, Daigen Gichi. That scene was crazy.
That was crazy.
And he was like, the first 200 people to stop clapping, y'all gonna be sacrifices. I said, oh, they gets down and dirty over here.
I put Fifth Emperor as a demon.
Man.
That was crazy. Then later out, we found out they had clapped for a total of like 3 days.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
Like straight.
Right.
Yeah, before, you know what I mean? Before he was like, all right. Or that number was reached or whatever.
Right, before they got to 200.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I thought the carry ball game was cool. I like the carry ball, the uniforms that they use for the carry ball. And I kind of like had a question of what is the ultimate goal of this training? Because obviously, like in our schools and stuff, you do sports, gym class, kind of build like camaraderie to like maintain and upkeep kids' physical health. So I was like, okay, what is the ultimate goal for them to be training with and using these telekinetic powers? What do the adults intend to use the kids for?
Right.
Why do they have them training them? What you guys have for episode 2?
As far as episode 2, I literally had the same basically thought. I literally put like, so are all their lessons and readings just folklore and games? You feel me? Like I was, you know what I mean? I was kind of like we say, I didn't see a lot of traditional schooling. You know what I mean? So I was kind of thrown off by that. As far as the end of episode 2, we definitely get introduced to like the monster rats, and we basically get a buddy that had cheated in the game. You feel me? More or less, and you know what I mean. They kind of allude to like, you know what I mean. He basically disappeared or was absent the next couple of days. Trying to think. And then there was like I think Saki, there was like a clip of dialogue where she had said, I think it was at the beginning of the episode where she was like she had said something about Maria. I'm trying to think. Yeah, she had said something about Maria, and she was like, if she wasn't born, then a lot of people's lives would be saved or something. Right. And I was like, what the you feel me? It kind of threw me off because you feel me? So that was just something interesting I had wrote down.
By then, I didn't even have like half the names of the characters memorized. But no, that's definitely something that somebody said it stand out. I did have 2 hypotheses for this episode, just like my last couple notes were 2. I said Shun had death flags written all over him. Just kind of that dynamic of we have our main character, and then you see like the little class clown guy, kind of like his crushing on her, but she likes the cool, quiet kid that like everybody looks up to. I said, oh yeah, he got death flags all over him. I didn't seen this dynamic a couple times.
So you was already predicting.
Right, I'm like, I don't know if this gonna come true or not, but he seemed like he gonna die. That way our main character can get together with like the class clown character.
Oh, okay.
I think I got that from another show that this reminded me of, Nasi no Asakura, A Lull in the Sea. The first couple episodes gave me like very similar vibes to that show, and that's probably where I got that hypothesis from. And then I also said the monster rats used to be humans, just off of we see them like speaking English. Like one of them is like barely speaking English in this episode, and we see Saki who's empathetic for the monster rats. I said, oh yeah,
you picked up on that early.
I was like, yeah, they probably like used to be human or something like that. Some experimentation stuff was going on. I just like trying to like throw stuff at the stuff at the board, see what thick. I like to do that with my notes, like just trying to throw stuff out. Like I wonder if this would come true. Right. And I said the ending was a banger. I like this first ending is crazy good. But that was all I had for the rest of episode 2.
Yeah, Chloe wrote down like a few questions. Like the first thing after seeing the Emperor, I was like, does the strongest power user become the Emperor? Because I don't think they ever really touch on that after like the first half. But I was like, then my next question didn't seem like everyone else was kind of like aggressive towards people, at least in the first 2 episodes. I was like, so I guess as the Emperor, you can kind of just do whatever you want. which brings up more questions I didn't think about. Was he an ogre? But
Right. Yeah, that is because they don't touch on him.
Yeah. They don't touch about him, and he did. Because the Emperor, he killed 200 people.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. In the show, I guess they had talked about that was like a couple hundred years after. Yeah, I mean like
so it could have been before.
Like, yeah, it was like far in the past. So, but yeah, at that time, yeah, he had to be. I don't know because it would. You know what I mean? It would have just been. I don't know. I don't want to like talk about further like aspects of the show, but
they kind of get
it's reasons to make me believe that he wasn't necessarily an ogre.
Yeah, because they kind of like
he was just a regular person with powers.
Yeah, because they kind of sort of specify later on, like in the second half, as far as like the karmic demons and the ogres and the difference between them, and just the demons in general with they call it PK
with the powers, or just they definitely touch on everybody like in the town. Everybody we see, we basically get like their you know what I mean like. History and shit. So
it was just interesting. Like he didn't have any effects from like the death of shame.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying because that was like.
But he could, like you said, he could have predated that.
Yeah, he definitely so. I think.
Yeah, another thing I had questions. I was like, well, does cheating get you killed? Which, by the way, they were kind of acting, and the guy disappeared. I was like, yeah. Right. I was like, he's definitely dead. Crazy. Then also I asked, or maybe they're turning them into monsters? Question marks. Yeah, but I had questions like maybe they're turning them into monsters because it just seems like there's no people other than power users, and there's no way like 100% of humanity. I was like, it'd be kind of weird for them to just kill everyone as power users. So maybe they're like mutating them or doing something with their bodies or anything like that. They also say Shun is definitely a know-it-all. Like especially like in the first few episodes, for like every type of question is like, oh, Shun knows it. Don't worry about it. Oh, there's an issue. Go to Shun. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that was definitely my impression with Shun when I first watched. He's just not a prodigy character that we all seen in these typical shows. That's just like, he's the one you go to. This is everyone's favorite character, even in the pinch of a bind. Right. He's the one that that'll just find the answer to everything. But a couple notes I made was I kind of picked up on during the second watch through was this is actually Saki talking in third person. Because she's actually the one speaking in every episode that's like, hey, this is what's going on, or this is what happened, or what I thought could have not happened. And it's just kind of like, I didn't pick up on that my first watch through.
Oh, okay.
And it was also weird to me that nobody really just cared about the disappearance of the kids. Because, the five main cast, they had I think her name was Raiki or Raiko. Because she was part of the group too, but she was like always messing up. Even Satoru was just like, she's just the weakest link of the group. She was just always apologizing, but she disappeared.
That's
and people
crazy.
Just, and then even Saki and them mentioned the disappearance of the children, and they just brushed it on like it was nothing. And it was kind of just bothersome. I watched it even during the tournament when dude clearly cheated. We just don't ever see him again. So it's like, all right, so is it so normal that the kids just push on about it and just don't think about it no more? Or is it that the adults actually just say, hey, it's just another thing in the past, nothing to worry about? But I also find it weird that how they group the kids up. If one goes missing, do they replace them or do they have some sort of like ceremony for them? Anything like that. But it didn't seem like it was too humane for them to just do that. It was just like robotic in a way, at least in how I thought about it.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's pretty much how I have for episode 2.
All right, you ready for 3? All right, what I have for 3? We see they going to, the kids are going on a 1-week unsupervised camp trip, which definitely immediately stuck out to me. Like, okay. We see in the beginning of this episode like an invasion or an assault flashback on, well, I guess a previous emperor or somebody that they wanted dead because they ran up in his crib and got him together. Man. In this episode, we get Satoru doing like the campfire stories, and he's telling them about like all these urban legends about like, what is it, like the bomb dog?
Yeah, the balloon dogs.
Yeah, balloon dogs and the carnic demons and what you guys have for 3?
So you said it because that's definitely what I have in my notes is what he's sharing to his friends. Is it true? Like, just like they, Saki's just like, oh, how about that? Inconveniently, they just so happen. He's just like, it's true. It's just really hard to believe, even from an audience perspective. It's like, maybe he's telling the truth. You kind of see that in certain shows that they are telling the truth off some one-offs. But it was just funny you said. Like, I definitely got that in notes for that note.
Yeah, and that's like something that happens like so many times in this show where like they'll hypothesize something and then like 2 episodes later it's just confirmed. Like, oh, whatever they thought was going to happen was what actually was happening.
Yeah,
and in
exactly.
Yeah, for this one, it was kind of like weird that, and it was never touched on later. Like, how this little kid know all this?
Say
that. Like, who is he talking to?
Right. Did he have an encounter with a Minashiro when he was young, or did like somebody, an adult that wasn't supposed to tell him, told him? Like, it was kind of weird that they never really explained how he had kind of like heard all these terms and stuff.
Especially the demon Minashiro, because that was like public knowledge. Just like with the monster rats, you seen like I think it was this episode or the next where you seen. It was mentioned that monster rats were a thing, but like the demon Minashiro was like. That didn't really seem like public knowledge.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we even see like Saki's dad tells her about the monster rat, so it's like that's kind of
Yeah, because that's what me and Theo talked about when I was in the middle watching it. But it's a lot of like convenience added into the story because I feel like might be a bit confusing to just go through and just have it happen. So there's a lot of convenient. Just like
explanation.
Setups.
It definitely came up as like very obvious
for a lot of stuff like that. Yeah. As far as episode 3, I written down basically the same thing y'all was saying was like this episode where I realized the first intro sequences were like history leading up to this point. I had hypothesized that, and basically it was I was like, okay, this basically in this episode it is definitely confirmed. I thought Shane was cool and kind, and I also liked that, he wasn't like, because that type of character, I assumed he was going to be like a goody two-shoes, but when they had like, basically like when Satoru had introduced the idea like, hey, let's go, let's go look for this stuff, he was with it. He was like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. Yeah. So, you feel me? I thought that I literally put like, okay, he's not a goody two-shoes. I think I'm going to like his character. And then I also had written down for, I guess Saki has some flashbacks. And so I think the PK powers come with an increased natural inclination for greed and other bad attributes, just how they were painted up to this point, as far as like the people in the past that weren't in this society, when they had their powers, like we see with the Emperor, like, niggas was wreaking havoc, niggas was using their powers for crimes, obviously, as we had seen in the first intro sequence. So I basically put that I believed the rituals were like taking their initial power that came with puberty, because if they didn't manifest the power, they just disappeared. You know, feel me? Like Saki's parents had talked about, her mom had slipped up and said something about like, I don't want to lose another kid. And I instantly was like, oh, so you done had multiple kids before, and then, they didn't manifest the power or whatever with their puberty. So I was guessing like, I guess if you don't have the power, you get taken out or transformed or something. And then as far as when you manifest your power, it seemed like the ritual was, I guess, to take that initial power away that you inherently get. And then you get like a more docile power, or, one that is, wouldn't come with those increased urges that obviously we see confirmed by the demon Manashiro, that they've been basically genetically engineered to not have these inclinations to be like violent or hurt each other, or they have, they basically been genetically engineered to have the death of shame that, would have stopped like the Emperor from doing that, or hella killings and crimes and shit when people first got their powers.
Yeah, because I remember the scene when, I think it was episode 1, when Saki did go to the temple and the monk pretty much was like doing the enchantment with her, and then he just said, move the flame, and watching that, I thought, I'm like, oh, damn, when he pretty much sealed her power because the flame was getting out of control in a sense, I was like, damn, like, she just lose her power just like that. But in the next couple of scenes, you see them using their powers in the classroom, because I was kind of thrown off about that at first. I'm like, all right, so is that powers getting brought back to them, or is just reborn because of that ritual that they go through, what I'm saying? So that was something that kind of stuck out to me. But I do have a question. How do you guys feel about each individual character through episode 1 through 3? Because you do get a little bit of each one of them, and just in their own sense. Like, obviously, Saki's the one that's like the one that's the glue to everyone's relationship, but she's also kind of like that. I got that naive sense from her, that every time she gets in a situation, she just thinks of it like a really childish way, which, the show present is about adolescents and them just thinking about things while they're kids. But I definitely thought that about her, and Shun just being pretty much, like I said, a prodigy. Satoru, like you say, like a class clown. But I also thought Satoru was also smart and wit in a sense of way, even though we didn't really get that much from him. But from following up with the recent episodes, I mean, we gonna see about that. Maria, I definitely like Maria a lot in this show up to a certain point, and then obviously the weakest link, Mamoru, him. Yeah, but I knew from the jump. I knew from the jump I was gonna like him just because of his dialogue and how they present him as a character.
So you wasn't gonna like him, or you was?
I wasn't gonna like him. The way how they presented him as a character, I just knew it was just gonna be like that. You know, the baby child.
Yeah, he came off definitely whiny, and I wasn't fucking with Mamoru for real.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys have any takes on the characters' individuality by themselves, or you got dislike them, hate them?
Through the first 4 episodes, I thought Mamoru was annoying. Just like the when he was crying and stuff, when the Minashiro or the library is giving them all the history, and he's like, "Oh no, stop!"
Yeah.
Everybody else to me still was kind of like a blank slate. You know, I didn't really have I didn't really feel like one way or other about them. They just they were what they were to that point.
Yeah, I'll say more of the same. I didn't necessarily, like I said, I like Shun's character. I thought Saki was cool. I could see, like you said, from the beginning, I didn't necessarily feel she was naive, but I seen she was more compassionate, and I seen that she kind of was a bit not as adherent to the rules, you know what I mean? As far as saving the monster rat or different things like that. She wasn't, you know what I mean, as Mamoru or Maria or other people when they were oh no, don't save them, or different things like that. She was more nah, what? This is the right thing to do. So I kind of, you feel me? I had seen that. It was okay, I think she's, you know what I mean? I think she's going to be the type of character that, you know what I mean, is going to have to be faced with some adversity as far as adhering to the rules and, you know what I mean, doing either saving, you know what I mean, more monster rats or something along those lines.
Yeah.
But as far as everybody else, it was just kind of
yeah,
I didn't have any specific opinions about him at that point.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I should ask that episodes later. But I mean, I was wondering about that because that scene did kind of stick out to me when you talk about the her saving the monster rat. It was funny, me and Satoru, when he walked up to a monster rat and they just called him as gods, and he just pretty much he called us gods, and he picked one up, and it's just the hell these little things are, these monsters. I'm just he kind of belittled them just because they're monsters, obviously. But I mean, just later on the show, I mean, even Shun just mentioned hey, there's different colonies. So these are the loyal ones and all that. So yeah, he's really knowledgeable. I feel like Satoru had the right mindset, just man, these just rats, they're just beneath us and all that. But I think it biting in the ass. But the only reason I say about Saki was naive because, like you said, the father is hey, we want these rats away from you guys because they think that you guys don't have the powers, or at least not more mature enough as we are adults.
Right.
And then he just don't want her to be near him because he thinks that his daughter is just going to fall for them just because they're monster rats and how they look and what they're going through. So that's the only reason I pretty much said that she's going to fall through and be suckered in by them.
Oh, okay.
And I mean that in all caps. She is suckered in by now.
So you team humans?
Huh?
You team humans?
Yeah, I'm team humans on this.
This nigga crazy.
Absolutely.
I do not approve that message.
I didn't really feel that. I didn't feel any type of way other than with Mamoru. I was yeah, I feel he's gonna be crying at any inconvenience.
Yeah.
And Satoru, only because I didn't like him because his voice was just.
Great.
It was
in the dub.
Yes, it was so. Oh my god, it was so annoying.
That's crazy. His voice is cool.
Well, it's crazy because I'm pretty sure he's a well-known voice actor. As soon as I heard, I was bro, I hear his voice everywhere, and every time I hear it, it's just it's not terrible. It's bro, it fits it fit him perfectly, but it's just it made me dislike his character. It's a voice that sounds too good. It just fit his character too well, and it's just
Yeah, Greg Gary's a great talent, man. Great at his job, but his voice is not really gonna be. He's gonna sit well with everybody. Cause he got he got that voice.
Yeah, but you heard it. Yeah, you heard it.
I heard it. I'd go approve of this.
We went to show you in between record. Yeah, it was pretty.
But that's fried.
Yeah, it was pretty fried. So what do you guys feel about the scene where they did meet the library and they was pretty much hypnotized, and Saki had that red, she had red sunglasses on, and she was immune to it. I mean, what you guys thought about that scene? I thought it was funny just because of the fact that she just jumped in and just started fighting this thing because oh, they're hypnotized, and she started interrogating. It's like, hey, I'm gonna pull all these pins out of you, and this thing just like still repeating this same message. She was like, all right, once I pull these pins out, you won't be no more, and just falter to her. And I'm just like, ain't no way, bro.
The first thing I wrote about that was like, yeah, convenient that she just happened to bring sunglasses to like fet the monster that you have to like see the bright light for. I was like, that was just like straight convenience sake, but other than that, I was like, I liked it. It kind of made sense because how like out there they kind of are, and like how nosy and like they want to know more about the world. So it definitely made sense, and the reason, like, in the explanations that were given, made sense. Where it wasn't just like they were just saying stuff to make the world sound crazy. Like, oh, like that happened because of this, and that's like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. I was like, that's realistic.
No.
Yeah, I thought that scene was funny too because at first. It's like obviously terminal, like no access granted, like you gotta have like ID verification, and then she like threatens it, and it's matter of fact, hey, access granted. I thought it was like interesting that they chased it though, because it was like you see how powerful it was, where it paralyzed everybody but Saki. And I did like the glasses. I like a lot of the outfit changes in this show, just that little. Extra added like attention to detail,
right?
But just for them to like go back after it, and she's like, "Oh, I got a plan," and then they just pull up with these like giant crabs, and the giant crabs go in the cave and like just snatch them up and then bring them out. I'm like, okay, y'all playing with fire right here. That thing looked like it's no joke,
right?
But no, that scene was funny. What do you guys think about like the huge expedition dump that we got? Like 10 minutes of like explaining like the history of the world and all this exposition that we got.
I liked it. Like Dwayne said, I feel like it tracked, like it made logical sense as far as how they had mapped it out, like the time leading up to there. I felt like it was kind of. I felt like it was kind of interesting, like at the time when I had watched it, I felt like it was kind of interesting that they had went the route of like, kind of like all negatively with the power, you know what I mean? Like they were like, cause like first person, you know what I mean? Like the powers were discovered and then cause, hey, one dude started committed hella crimes, then everybody, you know what I mean? Like it was just kind of like a snowball effect on a negative aspect, you know what I mean? And we didn't hear much about like, I don't know, just like any, you know what I mean, anything else, or the power being used for anything positive or building anything, or you know what I mean. So it kind of, after I seen that, I kind of knew, like I felt like I had an idea of like, okay, I feel like the show is gonna be definitely geared towards more like maybe their power being like an affliction, or you know what I mean, like maybe it being like, you know what I mean, like something behind the scenes of like they're like, I don't know. I just, it had put like a negative kind of dark aspect on the power. So, you know what I mean? I felt like I had like an idea, like, yeah, I feel like this is going to go south for these niggas. But,
yeah, I definitely like that explanation of it, that it was given to the kids. It's like, yeah, everything's not how it seems. Like, yeah, you guys got these powers and all that, but realistically, where these powers originate from, like I said, the first person I already wrote down. So this world was ruled damn near by PK users, because just going back from the first scene, just like, all right, this first person just straight up killed everyone, and just showing flashbacks of them versus humanity themselves. I just thought about like Terminator, like literally straight up them just creating these human beings that just turn against them and just rage an all-out world war against everyone, which I thought was pretty crazy. And just the deception and hidden truths of society that they kept from the children, that it just explained to them. It's like, yeah, the adults pretty much just teach you guys a certain thing to prevent you guys from doing this. And some cases, people were just doing like other stuff that kind of like helped them not cope with their powers, but somewhat like have a restriction as far as like sexuality goes, and all the other detail they explained to them. I thought that was pretty interesting. My first watch through, I didn't really pick up on that. It was just weird to me how the next episode.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
It was weird. Like the next couple episodes, just like, all right, we going there, okay. But the whole explanation from it, I mean, I thought it was pretty cool how they talked about it. But other than that, I didn't think it was too crazy as far as the explanation goes. Well, but it was cool to see the reaction from all the kids, because like you said, Maru was pretty much just crying
Yeah,
about it. He didn't want to hear the truth of it no more, because it's like the world that he lived in was like really content of how he wanted it to be. And as far as like Satoru going, he was even at that point just like, all right, enough is enough of information, because it was so overwhelming to them. But because of Saki's and Shun just curiosity, just was just like, all right, so why is it that in today's world, why is it so different from then?
Right.
Which I thought was pretty interesting, that he just kind of like tackled that, like a forward manner. It's like, I don't care what happens, because we're pretty much out the barrier now. I mean, we're just already in deep shit if we get in trouble. So why not just ask these questions, Right. And I thought it was pretty cool, especially for the theme that they're going for, adolescence. It's just showing that kids are just curious as adults are, but I think they're more not fearful of the consequences. I think the adults are thinking, because adults be more conscious of it. Kids just like, well, I mean, we're kids, and what's the worst that's going to happen to us, So I thought that was a pretty cool concept of it actually explaining everything to them. Because it even had a breaking point where it was like, I can't even tell you that detail because how dangerous it is. But even Shun and them just threatened, well, not Shun, but Saki and Satoru pretty much about to create a plan to just threaten it again. Yeah. And it just say, you know what?
Yeah, it hurt them talking like, threaten? Oh, okay,
it was just like, all right, here goes some more information of it. And it was pretty cool once they got all the way up to that point. And then we obviously see once they just gonna get the real answer as to why the society is how it was today, questioned by Shun, then we see the monk just came out of nowhere. Which I thought was crazy to see. Once that library or mechanism died, we see a visual of a woman, which I thought was like future, like foreshadowing or something like that. That it could have been somebody that we know as a character now that was actually posed as that. Or that's just how I thought Saki only seen that. Right. But Shun also
I see what you're saying. So as far as the intro, also that you brought up that point, they basically did raise the question of like, which society group were we? You feel me? As far as like, were they the PK users that enslaved humans, or were they the non-PK users? You know what I mean? Or were they the technologically advanced? And you feel me? So basically, later on, it is confirmed that basically like they've all been genetically engineered to be. I mean, to have the death of shame, also like the trait of like that wolves have to like not harm each other, and they were I guess genetically engineered to be more like loving and be more like, I guess, that species of monkey, because that's brought up again as well. And I thought that was interesting. That I was like, I thought that was an interesting like writing choice, or like decision to go as far as with the society, because I'm like, that's very extreme on on one end of like, all right, how can we get niggas to stop killing each other? Right. Which, me personally, I kind of felt was weird because I felt like it, like really goes against like human nature. Like at the end of the, like, because people been dying and fighting wars since the beginning of the time. I understand wanting to curb it, and but I just felt like it was a crazy extreme. And then seeing how the history, how like, like bloody and gory, and like how, like I said, like how negative and filled with death it was. Right. And like how shocking it was to the kids. I seen like, okay, the history was one extreme, their society is the other. So I was I was kind of already knowing what they were going to try to go for as far as like building into the show.
Yeah. I thought it was cool for the world building. Just me personally, I'm not a big fan of like big exposition dumps. Kind of like gave me like Phase Zero Episode 1 vibes. But as far as like the world building, it was cool. I just thought it was interesting. I touched on there, talked about how they would like have sex or something to like deal with stress and stuff.
Yeah, as opposed to any type of conflict, as opposed to.
But we didn't see no sex.
Hey, literally in the next episode, we don't see it, but
right.
It's just
then Raging, he comes and destroys the library thing and seals all their powers. Yeah. I like the scene where he like makes the big trench for them to like walk through. And at first they thought it was like an attack or something, but it's that he did that, and I was like, okay, this is what a mature PK user could do. And I had like can Maru just die already? Mamoru. Can Mamoru just die already? Because he was getting so annoying in that scene for me.
Oh yeah. Damn, you're right. He was getting super annoying like that.
Well, that's what I have for 4.
4, yeah. Kind of the same thing.
All right.
Just talked about.
Yeah.
All right, 5, man. Raging dies. The gang gets split up. The monster rats capture Satoru and Saki. Yeah, man. Satoru gives the monster rat that Thatcher egg and he eat that mug, and it did not end well for him. What y'all have for 5, man?
Just Saki and Satoru's bonding relationship. I mean, episode 1 through 4, we see them just kind of like bicker at each other. Almost like, not like love interest, but they just, playful in a sense. But I thought they kind of disliked, but how Saki is in general in the group, she was just really picking on him, and Satoru was kind of just like playing along with it. It's always like the typical relationship in certain animes, but I just thought it was cool seeing them in that little prison that they was in. It was pretty interesting, especially when Saki was having that flashback of the library speaking on, just having like sexualizing each other from different genders or just liking each other, and it was just pretty off to me at first. Because I was like, as of right now, the situation you guys in, this is what we're going to. But it was just funny to me that it just how happened to be that it was them two in that kind of situation. And then, like you said, Satoru was kind of thinking, now, all right, we got to escape this prison. Here's your little Thatcher bomb and get us out of there. But, yeah, it was pretty cool. I also made mention, I talked to Dwayne about it, they get their powers back. It was kind of weird how they got their powers back. Because she pretty much did the enchantment or the little ritual thing to Satoru where he was like pretty much at his lowest. Mm-hmm. So we just seen them just running for their lives, and then they thought it was going to be the end of them. And she just see him just mentally having like a mental battle with himself. And then she kind of just like reflected on it and just memorized his mantra, what it was.
Flashbacks,
Yeah, I thought that was just, I just thought it was pretty crazy she just did that. Even my first watch through, I'm like, what just happened? Yeah. But after seeing the second throw, I was like, okay, all right, that makes sense, but whatever.
Right.
As far as episode 5, I got that. I thought it was interesting that the monster rats, because beforehand we hadn't seen a lot of them at all, besides the one that fell in the river. So I thought it was interesting that they had a whole society and hierarchy as far as it was more of like a feudal system, you know what I mean, with like a monarch. Like they had like a queen, which obviously was the mother, but you know what I mean? Like everything else kind of fell down the same way. And basically we learned in this episode colonies are basically you know what I mean? Like they're on kingdoms or groups, and they self-govern they govern themselves.
Yeah.
And they also communicate with each other and request help if they're in war or battle or stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was cool. I thought that was interesting. As far as the scene with them locked up, I thought that was kind of weird.
Right.
But I don't know. I feel like it definitely just kind of confirmed that you know what I mean. They have been genetically engineered to be more loving, and even with Saki when she was kind of when she had she basically was yeah, I don't need to get off right now. I'm not a monkey. That you feel me? That kind of confirmed oh, okay, dang. That's you know what I mean. It was crazy. That's literally word for word though. But yeah, other than that, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this the episode we meet bitch ass Squealer.
Yeah. Go. Hey, bro.
Squirrel.
I don't know. He was like
man was stirring the pot, man.
Squirrel to go.
I will say before y'all two, well, actually no, y'all two can go, then I'll bring my hypothesis, what I thought on this one.
That's all I have for 5.
Damn.
I had that first part of the first couple things that happened, then at the end of the episode they meet bitch ass
Squealer. So when they wrote, I was like, the monsters must be dead. Humans are ones without powers. Because it's kind of interesting to see their perspective, and every time you see one die, you kind of see their soul leave their body and stuff like that. So I was like, maybe that's the soul of people that didn't have powers. That's kind of where they went. That's kind of my mind went. Mm-hmm. And the first I did say about Squirrel was I don't trust him. I was especially about his voice in the dub. His voice screamed, "Don't trust me, bro." Yeah.
I didn't hear him.
Yeah. It was as soon as you heard, every time I seen him, maybe it was a bit different in the sub. Every time I seen him, it's bro. Every time I heard him say something, I was bro, he is full of it, bro. It's how the voice actor was speaking. I was bro, I don't believe. And he could tell me the sky was blue, nah, it's red, bro. Anything he says is not the truth, bro.
I gotta hear him talk.
Bro. Yeah, instantly I was yeah, he's full of it.
Yeah. Because I'll say in the sub, his voice, it didn't necessarily give that off, but he did come off as like very clever. You know what I mean? And smart, you feel me? Like he could speak English. And like when Satoru had met him, you feel me? When they basically we had let him away and they was talking, he was like, okay, this one can speak English. So you feel me? So I'm like, okay, so he's obviously more highly intelligent than, you know what I mean, the other ones we seen. So you feel me? But as the show went on, you feel me? After he did a couple such things, then, you know what I mean, I could really tell in his voice, like, yeah, this nigga's lying. You know what I mean? Like this nigga's conniving. He's planning something like that. After, you feel me? After I think he had, is that this episode? Or I think, is it the next one? I'm not too sure, but they was all running. No, it had to be this episode when they escaped. And he basically had like left these niggas. Like he was with the guard. He was with the other colony.
Yeah, it's a bit later on.
Yeah, he was wild.
No, but
well, yeah, the last thing I wrote was a little weird when it was in there and the poison gas was coming in the hole, and he kind of knew that it was gonna explode. I was like, how did he know that gas was?
Satoru?
Yeah, so how did he know that the gas was flammable? It's kind of just
that's what I'm saying. And we don't see them learn nothing. We don't see them learn any you know what I mean, like science or basic knowledge. So I'm like, how does he know that?
Well, that I chopped up. They had like some type of elementary school where they had some type of like accelerated learning before they went to that. That's what I took as. But I don't know. It's like, bro, it's a random poison gas. Oh, gas come and cover your nose is poison. And if you throw fire at it, it's going to blow up and kill everybody. I was like, how do you know that, bro?
I would think because they didn't give us the information, just because of that little split scene that they gave us, just kind of indicated that he had some knowledge of it. They just didn't show the audience that. But like you said, probably off screen, they had like some sort of accelerating learning about certain things. But I just feel like on the off chance, he just already knew about it in general. Maybe not the chemical that they use as far as the base of it, but I think he just used his generalizing ideals, just like, hey, this may work right here, just flush them out. But
yeah, I don't know. I think it was just like at that time watching it was just like.
Whatever off-screen teachings he got, nobody else got that. Nobody else got that.
Yeah, so my man identifies. Oh, it's a poison gas. Cover your nose. As a matter of fact, let's get away because there's an explosion. It's gonna blow up. It's gonna kill everybody in here. We need to get out of here now. It's just like,
that was crazy.
Yeah, and the dub Squealer had that that creepo voice, man. It's like, okay,
bro, that's literally how he spoke.
I swear.
That's right. I definitely don't trust somebody.
Yeah, so when they did first meet Squirrel, I was like, oh, damn, they met this fucking ugly ass. I'm saying they all not ugly, but that man definitely particular. Just like he been through the shits, bro. But when he introduced him to the queen, and I first seen her, I was like, damn, that queen's what the hell? But I wrote a hypothesis that when he turned around and set the little curtain on fire, I feel like he did that intentionally just to get them like, hey, this queen right here is on some shit. You know, you gotta save me. Well, I feel like in hindsight, what we know later on the show, what she was about to do was save a lot of fucking trouble and work. But I just think he did it intentionally just to have one of them manipulate. It's like, hey, I need you to stop this because intentionally I was trying to do something. But that's why I just had a thought about it.
Yeah, possibly. Y'all have anything else for 5?
No, not really. Other than, not really.
Now that you say that kind of makes sense now. Because remember later on, we'll talk about that later, he was kind of spitting out she was kind of losing her mind, so maybe that was like his way of like starting that will going to be like she's kind of just
Because she never about to kill him until Saki just said,
yeah.
You know,
yeah, and in their eyes, she was just doing it just to
just to punish him for doing that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we can get an explanation why.
I think it's messed up.
Why?
Did we get an explanation? I can't remember.
No,
why what?
Why she was trying to eat him?
I thought the curtains was up like, you know what I mean? I thought the curtains was up like she didn't want to be seen. You know what I mean? Like maybe she thought she was big and fat and ugly. I don't know. That's kind of odd. You know what I mean? Right. You know what I mean? Like she didn't want motherfuckers to just walk in and see her. And then when he burnt that, obviously they seen her, and that's when she was like, oh yeah. Which gave me the feeling of like this is really like a monarchy, because I'm like with the emperor or with, you know what I mean, the king. I'm like, oh yeah, you fucked up. Oh yeah, off with his head. Oh yeah, this nigga about to die. Mm-hmm. So
Where the fuck do the queens come from?
Where the queens come from?
Queen rats.
Yeah.
Queen monster rats.
Yeah, like what determines how one is gonna be a queen? That is
female.
now that I'm thinking about that, that's weird.
Think about it, it's the only female ones.
So all the females,
all the other monster rats
queens?
that we see are like soldiers or fighting.
I mean, well, obviously
And
you
then
figure out like later on, so they're probably like modifully like genetic, like they probably made, yeah.
I guess. Okay.
But I understand what you're saying.
Because it seemed like there's so little queens. It's like
it's probably just like a super low number of a queen being. Yeah.
All right, 6. We get Saki and Satoru. They get stuck in a little cave hole. Man, the cave collapses on them. Right. Saki gets Satoru's powers back. They get out of the cave hole. They meet back up with bitch ass Squealer, and they basically get this like half-ass escort through the forest where it's supposed to be safe, but it seemed like it's enemies around every corner. And then we see like slowly but surely Satoru kind of tire out because he's constantly having to use his powers to safely get through this forest. What you guys have for 6?
This nigga just manipulating y'all using emotions, false information. Like you saying the safest pass. Kasaki even fucking confronts him, just like you said, this is the safest pass. And we fucking run into a hit squad after hit squad, bro. Like, what the fuck is going on? And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't think this was going to happen. I apologize.
You painted
and then
like
he
that.
even
That
doubles
is
down
crazy.
on himself, just like, I'm nothing but a worthless scum. I'm just the worst.
Yeah.
Just like, and even
Yeah,
Satoru
he was
just
wild.
like, enough, bro. Let's just go out here and kill the other colony that you think that is so aggressive towards your own, that's killing the Robert or
Robert Flies,
yeah.
whatever. Earth spiders.
Yeah, it was
They
so
was stomping
it was
on
just so
shit.
annoying as an audience, man. Because first watch through it, just like, I mean, he's clearly doing that, but the second one, just like, how are you not even realizing it? Because even Saki just questioned the whole time, just like, I mean, I feel like we're doing what we're right, but at the same time, it's against what I believe in, just killing these fucking rats for no reason. You know, just because we're guys, we're just doing what you want for your ill will. No, it was crazy that he was just manipulating them just from emotions and just using wordplay in his sentences and dialogue. It was just crazy to me how.
Oh no! I didn't feel like I didn't feel like they were being manipulated
100%
during this time because I feel like after they met the queen and he was like, hey, you feel me? He was like, hey, can you help us? And they was like, we don't know, bro. We gotta get back to school.
Yeah.
And then they attacked. From that point on, you feel me? I was like, well, you know what I mean? Now, you know what I mean? Like, at that point, Satoru was justifying it like, well, they attacking us. You feel me? And it was times when Saki was like, come on, bro, let's leave, bro. You starting to enjoy basically squashing these rats. And he like, well, they might attack us from behind and this, and that. So, you feel me? I didn't feel like they were being manipulated. You feel me? I just thought it was convenient that these niggas got powers and they here. You feel me? And we find out that colony, the Earth Spiders, was invasive. Like, it was just like a rogue colony. So, you know what I mean? It wasn't like he had masterminded the whole thing and was, you know what I mean, was pulling strings back then. Like, that was a whole, you feel me? Like from what they showed us, that was a whole colony with another leader, you feel me, that had, like, military strategies that was on that. I didn't think Squiller was... You know what I mean? All that at that point in time.
Yeah. See, maybe it was just his voice. Maybe it was just his voice, but it was a few things that I knew he was sus as hell. Bro.
No, it was definitely
because
sus.
What really made it weird because like, man, let's go this way. No one's over there. There's monsters like, that's one time. They go hit another corner. Oh, it's safe. And they run into some more people. I'm like, I was like, it's just starting to seem convenient. Like I legitimately wrote. I was like, it seems like he's just testing the extent of their power. I was like, maybe it was just because of his voice. But I don't know. It's like everything that he was saying is like, yeah, you say one thing, but something else totally happens. It's like, for me personally, watching like none of it made sense.
Yeah, he was capping his ass.
I feel like everything he was saying was.
I definitely feel like there was like I said, there was a moment in time in this episode where he was with some people from the Earth Spider colony, and when Satoru and Saki saw him, they had attacked the people he was with. And they witnessed him point, like,
hey, they over there, and then he attacked him, and then he came up to him and was like, well, you know what I mean? He you feel me? He kind of played the part like, well, they was going, you feel me? Like, well, they was going to imprison me, but you killed them, so now, you know what I mean? Now I'm cool, and that's when he was like, well, I'm worthless, and I'm all this and that. So from that point on, I did see like, this shit is sus. Like, you know what I mean? I did see, like, okay, this, you feel me? Like, this nigga's a coward. He was going to sell him out. Like, this nigga's on that. Like, but I don't know. I didn't get that.
Told him, he was like, we had scouts go ahead and make sure that the path was clear.
And it's like, you never had
our scouts didn't see nobody.
Oh,
that's crazy. It's clicking for me low key because I ain't gonna lie. He was
sus as fuck.
It was like
everything
back to back to back. I'm like, damn, why they keep finding me?
But especially the last time he said, oh man, there should be nobody over there. Walked past the tree, seen the whole army. I was like, you told me your scouts missing an entire platoon of rat monsters? It's like, yeah.
And another thing,
you're full of it.
Another thing attached onto it, because as we watch Satoru just continuously use his power, and Saki just like pretty much being his marksman or like spotter in a sense, and he's getting exhausted as it progresses. Every time he has a stopping point or need like catch a breath, this fucking rat always comes up and just say, hey, I know you're tired, but we need to keep pushing. You guys are the guys. We are right here. We got them where we want them. And it's like, even Saki, like, hey, he's tired. You know, he can't really do much with his power. But she don't slipped up and just pretty much saying, like, I don't got power right now. He's the only one. But it's just like, the rat just used him so much to further exhaust himself, almost about to kill him damn near.
Right.
And it's like, bro, he's clearly manipulative as of like, hey, I know you're exhausted, but you're the guy, man. You know, you're the guys that we need to help us win this war. And it's like, like for real. Even Satoru, when they was fucking running, he was just like, man, I'm so tired, I can't run no more. And Saki was just like, you know, like, let's just stop. And the rat just like, charge on, you guys are the guys, just praising him. I didn't understand, like, how is it that Satoru, it's almost like his pride of having the power and being able to stop these rats was also blocking him with the rat being manipulative on him. Because he's like, well, I have this power, I can just continuously fight on, like, just throwing the rocks at these fucking rats. Right. And it's like, even Saki is like,
fighting his ego.
Yeah, he was fighting his ego, and just like, even Saki is like, all right, no, let's just run. And he's like, no, we can just continuously do this, you know. And,
yeah, it's good that you said. There's a few things wrong. Cause I definitely wrote that, bro. He's becoming bloodthirsty. And in my mind, I was like, did she do the ritual wrong, and it changed his personality? I was like, because obviously, he's like, he was cool, but he wasn't like kill him all. Yeah, because he was like, I don't know, maybe it was just Squiller was in his ear, and Squiller knew he knew exactly what to say to get him going. He's like,
because even Saki like mentioned. From that change of behavior, she was just like, "You're not acting the same." It's just like, "What do you mean?" Because I thought for a minute, and I'm pretty sure I wrote down that he may become a ogre or a wherever the demon was going to be, just because of his bloodthirst and just killing the rats. Because he did have like a slight enjoyment. It's like, man, this is kind of easy to do right now. It's like just like you ain't the same. But I also thought in the back of my head, I was like, well, maybe he just wasn't like just now becoming like that. I think he was always in the sense that way. Maybe not bloodthirsty, but just like I can make a change with my power, and that's what he just believes in that moment. And then Saki just kind of like, you're like, okay, but I keep watching you so you don't do that, because clearly this fucking rat don't care what you do as long as you just win the war for him.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's point to counter like what you were saying. Okay, first of all, I'm surprised no one said anything about what not Satoru, what Saki's dad said about the false loyalty. Yeah. As soon as he said that was the first instant I knew. It was like, any monster rat is full of shit. Like when he was like, when that's what he was talking about, he was like, yeah, they're obedient to us, but have you ever know what false loyalty is? They're kind of just following us just so we won't kill them or so they can stab us in the back. That was like the first giveaway. Yeah. Then after that, when he was like, "Oh, I'm such a worm," yada yada yada, I was like, bro, I was like, first of all, that was foreshadowing that he was kind of double crossed when he points out. I was like, that's kind of foreshadowy that later on he's gonna do something that's gonna stab them in the back, because he literally stabbed the other monster rat in the back. I was like, yeah. I was like, he was talking about false loyalty and getting stabbed in the back. Now this man just pulled off some false loyalty and stabbed one of the monster rats in the back. That's when I seen. I was like, yeah.
And it was fried in that scene where my man straight up when you see him being captured, and my man straight up turn, look, there they are, and then Saki's just like, you fucking traitor.
Right, yeah, that shit was funny.
Off this man right here.
From that moment, I said yes.
And then when pretty much off that first rat and he killed the other one, just like, maybe he just like, hey man, you see what I did? I killed the other rat before he gets to y'all, you know? And then they're just like, yeah, bro, we can't really keep trusting.
He was like, they're not a threat to you anyways.
Right. Yeah, he did say, y'all, they're not a threat to you.
That's definitely fine, especially like in that last arc, how relevant like sense of smell becomes. And like, oh, your scouts didn't smell them either. Like y'all got this super sense of smell. And then definitely when Saki's dad is like, hey, if they find out you ain't got no powers, they gonna be on that with you. So yeah, it was definitely a lot of red flags going up on bitch ass Squealer.
But definitely his voice was the
that was the reddest flag.
Now that you point that out about the smell. Now that is crazy,
bro.
Now that is crazy. Because I had noted like in the last couple episodes, I'm like, damn, this nigga got sonar smelling, don't he? This nigga like is 7 over there, is 3 up top, is 2 on a different path. I'm like, he know who they are. I'm like,
for what killed me, he was like, man, I can't hear what they're saying, but I can get the gist of some of the comments. He said, damn, 3 don't smell. I was like, you don't got super hearing. He's like, yeah, they're saying they can't exactly pinpoint. How can you tell that?
Yeah, that was fried.
Smell the syllables, bro.
Literally.
He speak that monster rat language.
That monster rat language. Now that is funny that you bring that up. That nigga was probably way more suspect then than I was like giving him credit for. But also I feel like it kind of goes with the show of like how they were kind of underestimating how, you know what I mean, how conniving and intelligent they can be. I guess as an audience member I was too, because I'm like, feel me? I'm not thinking like he really plotting this shit up. But now that you put it like that, I'm like, yeah, there's no fucking way they were just running into squad after attack after ambush after, you know what I mean? And I'm like, cause you don't know these niggas here, bro. Yeah, it was definitely too convenient.
I'm already knowing, bro. Every time he said let's go there, I was like, y'all about to get jumped, bro. That was no surprise.
Yeah, speaking to like you talking about how they like underestimated them, that kind of like pissed me off in the last arc because I'm like, it felt to me like the things that they could do with their powers or the strength of their powers was so inconsistent. Because we see in like this episode, Mario like picking up trees, sending the trees at them like miles away, red dot, like bam, hitting them right on target, setting them on fire, doing all this crazy stuff, and then what happens in the last arc just happens, and I'm like, I thought the Minishiro just said like any one of these dudes could like destroy a city in like a half a second. Hey, but yeah, that's what I was just felt like at times the power scaling was like inconsistent.
Well, I just kind of chalked that up to like guerrilla war tactics, where it's kind of just like they just got out. The humans just got outsmarted.
I would say that because they were using like you know what I mean, like tactics that you know what I mean were like kind of covert or like you know what I mean, like traps and bait and switches and like
that works for one attack.
No.
Once I know you there, I know you there. Like,
but also I was gonna say I feel like that kind of adds to the point that this show definitely had like.
I agree with you. I don't know if I felt like the power scaling was inconsistent, or I guess it was hard for me to kind of wrap my mind around them having powers but not being like omnipotent, you know what I mean? Like they got powers, but they not all powerful. Cause you know what I mean? I'm like you said, like, okay, you could create a flame at the, you know what I mean? And with your mind at the thought, you can lift up trees, but y'all niggas is living in huts and y'all only got canoes. I'm like, what the fuck y'all got going on?
I didn't know what the fuck was going on with that because we seen later, Inoue is like creating electricity, but and y'all can like build stuff with your powers.
That's what I'm saying. Like y'all lighting torches. Why does nobody have a floating globe of a light?
It's been centuries. Like y'all should have iPhones by now again.
Yeah, I don't know. So I definitely feel you on that. That definitely was kind of weird.
Maybe it was like they were scared of like more information, like tampering or like messing up with like the psyches. Like, well, obviously you get smartphones, you get the.
I see that, but that's just. But I would say just on a base level, what I feel like is they had gotten hella reliant on their powers, and I thought that was weird too. I'm like, You feel me? I'm like, why are y'all, you know what I mean? Why is it that kids that don't manifest powers are disappearing? I'm like, so y'all don't have no need for niggas that want to be engineers or inventors or, you know what I mean? I'm like, y'all not trying to, y'all not, you feel me? Like, just all throughout history, like, you know what I mean? Like, humanity pushes itself forward. Like, people are born, they have ideas, you know what I mean? They create stuff. But in this society, as we see it, it was just kind of like, you know what I mean? I'm like I said, I'm like, why don't y'all have electricity? Like, why are y'all not using
water wheel,
concrete and shit? You know what I mean? Like, the Monster Rats is having, you know what I mean, more stuff than y'all towards the end of the show. I'm like, that should never happen. They should never have guns before y'all, and y'all treating them like slaves. That doesn't make sense.
Because they never like flat out said how many people knew about the false Minashiro in like the past.
True.
So maybe it would be kind of weird to be like, hey, we live in the sticks, but hey, we made this new thing called concrete and this new thing called electricity, and just like jumping everything at once. And people, because like obviously somebody's going to have to learn how to make those things. So it's like you got to add more people in the loop. And the more confusing it might become.
But think about it though. I felt like it was, and I felt like the show definitely, like the society definitely had like a very, like I said, like a very like extremist, like limiting view. Because think about it, if you rebuilding society, you know what I mean. At the end of the day, 700 years from now, if the world was to end, and you feel me, all that history was to take place, niggas aren't gonna be thinking like, hey, it's smartphones and. You feel me? Social media is going, you know what I mean? If we make electricity, it's going to lead to this and the internet. And then they're not thinking that. Like, at the end of the day, humanity would create those things because it creates convenience and it pushes us forward. Like, you would want safer houses. You would want concrete, you know what I mean? You would want safer buildings. But from disasters and weather, like, you know what I mean? Like, those advances, I felt like they relied heavily on their power. And they were so focused on, you know what I mean, not creating ogres or whatever, the demons, whatever the case may be, that they had lost that basic part of just working with their hands.
I mean, yeah, I understand it. But it's again, when you go like 200 years with no other monsters or anything can really mess with you, I can kind of see how they're like, okay, let's just stay the status quo, and try to like prevent any more incidents. I understand what you're saying makes sense, but maybe that's just what they were thinking.
That's just how the society was built on. And most of them even said that we just want to keep a restraint on these children in general, and just furthering on our advancements in human society, because we seen what happened. Ancient history, we don't want that happening to our current society.
Right.
Yeah, because you could definitely say in the last few episodes when she was like hallucinating and she was talking to somebody, he said, man, it would be great if you had another way of communication other than just letters and stuff like that. And it's just like,
right.
It's just like, yeah.
I'm like, dang, I ain't even thought about that. It's crazy.
All right, let's get into episode 7, man. We got Saki and Satoru. They like continue to take on the Monster Rat army. So eventually they meet up with Kiramaru, the leader of the giant hornet colony. They pull up with him to this cave to do like another battle against the colony. They get ambushed by some balloon dogs. Satoru gets knocked out after protecting everybody with his power. After they wake up, Satoru basically like theorizes that maybe because the monster rats are so loyal to the humans that like, hey, they might get orders to kill us from the humans because they know that we spoke to the Minashiro and we got knowledge that we shouldn't have. So they decide to just hop up and leave. On their way out of there, they see that they're following them. So it's kind of creating this suspicion of like, are they on their ass? They about to kill them. But then, you know, it just cuts to black and it's like, oh, no, we just came to help you get to shore or whatever. But then it kind of does confirm their fears because he's like, hey, don't tell nobody I helped you because I was really supposed to beat your ass.
Right.
I'm like, bro, these kids are never wrong about nothing. It's like every time they like put an idea out there, it's just like,
that's what it is.
Yeah, it is true. They're never wrong when they theorize anything. I'm like, wow. What y'all have for 7 though?
It is funny you said that they are almost never wrong about the stuff that they theorize. But I also think that up to this point in the show, we don't see any other like young children have like a free-minded or ability to speak free willy as these kids are. So I think their ability to just do that and just have their own thoughts kind of just like come to light. I mean, the chance of it, the rate being that high, obviously I see the problem with that. But just because of that group specifically, I mean, I just think that story writing goes, I feel like that was just rightful in its way. But yeah, I also thought when we saw Squealer again, once he was following them, seeing they was leading the village, I definitely thought he was gonna rat them out, just like
well, why don't you guys come back? Even though they pointed out just like, well, we just can't tell you. And my man just like, what's the trouble is. Yeah. And then when they told us, like, well, we got to be back friends, and he's like, well, maybe another episode. But anyway, I just thought he was just going to sneak up on them again once he linked up with them and try and help them with the escape route. But other than that, I ain't got too much more about 7.
One big thing I had about 7 that pissed me off. They're all sitting by the campfire. Oh, you got your power back? I was like, yeah. She read my mantra. Oh, yeah. And they was like, oh, what are we going to do? And everybody's like, oh, man, I wrote that shit in my diary. Oh, yeah, me too. All of us just magically read it down. And for plot convenience, it would be. I was like, how convenient, bro. And everyone just went home and wrote down their mantra, like how that won't be problematic later on. It's just like,
my man Shun just remembered his by heart.
Yeah, that's only when I'm like, he's super smart to say, but everyone's like, yeah, man, I got it written at home under my pillow right next to my first tooth. You can just go home and read it. It's just like,
I get that.
Yeah, and another thing, like Satoru was like, just right about just on his first theory was just going off of them being maybe having a hit out on them is. Yeah. They use the monster rats or the monsters in general to like kill the humans for them so they can evade like the death of shame. Mm-hmm. And we see like obviously later on, confirmed.
It's definitely confirmed. For episode 7, I basically had what y'all were saying, and like what I had been talking about. Like this episode basically confirmed that the thoughts on the society and this was the episode where I had seen the Legion colony, and I had that idea like where I was like, oh, okay, these, like the Monster Rat Society, even though it is, maybe not as it's obviously not as peaceful and like maybe like well organized and structured as the human society. I seen that like it was mirroring a more like medieval kind of feudal like monarch system as far as like. Our human society, like, like in real life with our history and shit. So I thought that was interesting, but that's about it.
Yeah. I think it was 7. Yeah. Too much. Oh, it was funny that you get the narration from Saki, third person, where they said they got their powers back and hoping that, once they get back to society, nothing's going to be thought of. Yeah, nothing's going to go unnoticed, Everything's gonna be all peachy, and then she was like, "Well, that's what we thought." Just seeing the elders just sitting there at the dock, just waiting for me, it's just like they really gonna be on your ass now. So
they won't be any the wiser.
You're right, a little wiser.
This was definitely wiser.
Yeah. All right, that's all you have for 7.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Let's get into episode 8. We got a 2-year time skip, man. We're going from 12 to 14, man. Barely legal. And I'm done.
It's a new world, man.
Said, man, the agenda has infected the whole school, man. We get them scenes. They walking down the hallway. Everybody all booed up. Same-sex couples everywhere you look.
Yeah. Only thing you seen any heterosex.
No, not one. Not one. I had my notes. I said Saki and Mamoru is the only ones that ain't turned out. Man, and oh my gosh, Saki had like a fried ass dickhead scene,
bro.
Talking to Mamoru.
Yes.
She was like,
I was like, why is she being such a bitch right
She was
now?
like, hey, you need to stop crushing on my bitch and find you somebody else to get with, bro.
My man didn't take that lightly.
I had giant pause. This is the episode with the scene. I'm not going, go any further into that, but this is the episode with that scene.
Let's see, we talk about. Nah,
yeah,
they was out in the park.
Y'all can get into that.
Shun and Satoru.
Yeah, we got.
You talk about when Saki is behind the tree.
Yeah, that got me watching some bullshit. That's exactly what I said when I see.
That's why I said.
But nah,
it was just fried.
But I mean. No, episode 8 was definitely a doozy. First time watching this, it was like
it's a doozy
because I didn't expect it. You know what I'm saying? But I knew what the library said in the previous episodes and what it could transpire to. I just didn't know what magnitude it would just go. I didn't think it would blow up that the whole school would just be that way. But I also didn't think that the adults would just let it just fly out and just say, hey, it is what it is. Kind of thing, but I mean, you know. But I mean, episode 8, it was cool though. It was definitely seeing Shun going through it, through the whole little shebang of him trying to get the egg. Kind of like whatever he was doing with the egg, and then you got one of the head leaders of one of the.
She pulled up to class.
Yeah, he pulled up to the group and was spectating everybody, and then he saw. It was weird because when I seen it the first time, I didn't know. Well, we get this through several scenes going forward that they have their moments of just. You know how animes, they'll have their dialogue, but they just whisper nothing. You just see their mouth move, you know they're talking, so it was kind of just like, damn, what did my man say to him? That happened several times in the show where I wanted to know what it is, but I feel like they left out some of the pieces for us to put together other than one of the episodes that we've seen in, I think it's probably 13 or 12 maybe. No, maybe earlier than that. But, I mean, episode 8 was cool. I just wrote Trouble in Paradise for Shun because I knew what was going to happen to him the second watch through. So, I kind of already figured it was coming. But I didn't think it would be him, though. I just thought it would be Satoru just because how much he uses power and what they described that if one uses PK too much for whatever intent, that they become either ogre or demonic demon. But just knowing that the most logical and prodigy student in school just to turn out to be the, not turn out to be just yet, but just transition because you kind of get that as an audience. You kind of already putting the pieces together. Like he's going to be one of the antagonists, if you will, in the show. So it was just like, damn, all right, that's cool. But also, I was also waiting for when the ethic committee going to have their punishment on the children. Right. After they was coming back from the episode before, we get that last scene of the outro. So it was kind of just weird that none of them seem to have any sort of punishment, or at least displayed to us in this episode. But other than that, I ain't got much for episode 8.
Yeah, for 8, definitely again, they just killed thousands, but he's killed like hundreds of rat monsters, and it's going back about your regular. Yeah. It's going back to society, like you didn't just slaughter a whole army.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Literally.
Well, I'm far from home, man. I just need to get back.
But yeah, those I was like, there's no consequences for them doing their own mantras. I was like, okay, it's whatever. Mm-hmm. Then the one thing that really stuck out to me, I was like, bro, is Shun creating a rat monster? Because at the end of the episode, you see the egg drop and the eye was in it. I was like, bro, my man turning evil or something? I was like, he's over here making monsters. That's why dude ran off. He's like, man, I don't know what he's over there doing. Creating a monster in the egg or something like that, but.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what that was when him and Shinsei, when he approached him, and you see like that invisible barrier popped out, but it was almost like time glitch when Saki noticed that?
That was his
power.
That was his power. It was like his subconscious was leaking. That was the first moment that he realized, like, oh, this nigga gonna be a karmic demon.
Okay, all right. I seen that, and I was like, did she just pop up like a little mini bear, no one could hear him? Or something like that.
That's what he just felt like his power leaking. It was affecting
Red alert.
Right. And I think that's what happened to the egg. Basically, it like mutated it just like subconsciously through the power that was leaking out of him type shit.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yeah, we see at the end, Shun tells Saki he's going to like some institution or something. Mm-hmm. He gives her a warning before he leaves.
Did you guys expect Shun and Satoru to be a thing?
Hell no! What? Hell no!
Yeah, that kind of.
I mean, when you first seen it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even if you thought like strongly against the word, but like, what connections would you actually put with them two? We already know about Maria and Saki. Like, we see a relationship beforehand.
I thought, just with their experience together, I thought that Saki and Satoru would end up getting together. Or Saki and Shun, because we had seen that like Saki and Shun had that moment on the boat, and then we had obviously, you feel me, Saki and Satoru had like spent all that time together like fighting the monster rats. So I thought that it would be one of those two relationships. So when I seen that it was like Maria and Saki and Satoru and Shun, that threw me off. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck?
I honestly thought like the teachers were like promoting like intersexual. No, for real, because like you've seen everyone was dating like the same sex. I was like, so maybe he starts like maybe they're like saying, but hey, this is okay. Like everyone was doing. That's what it kind of seemed like because like legitimately you seen like no straight couples like those handful of episodes other than like the adults.
It's getting too real.
No, for us.
They definitely.
It must
they
be
definitely
2024.
I'm about to say like when they were talking to the demon Monashiro and they talked about the species of monkeys and like the show emphasized it like I think pretty sure they repeated it when it was like. Or when Saki had the flashback in the cage, and she had heard it, and the Minashiro basically was like, you feel me, they solved things through contact, and it was like, not just the adults, but immature and same sex. You feel me, I was kind of anticipating like, okay, well, you know what I mean, we might see something like that. I didn't think it was going to be like, as like common or like
low class.
Yeah, it was literally everybody, and I was like, oh, okay, but which kind of threw me off, because I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, some people obviously have kids because y'all are kids. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. But
I guess so. Because when I first seen that, I was like, all right, first off, who came back and told everyone this is okay to do? Like, did they start it or they just...
I think it was just like through puberty, like naturally. Right, it was like, oh, I like you. And there was, you know what I mean? I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was also funny. I mean, I can't read this scene away. Sakura and Shun had a moment. Saki was hiding behind a tree, and she just didn't want to be caught by Shun's dog. And we see Shun actually glance at Saki, and Saki was just like, she knows that he's seen her, and as they just progress through, I'm just like, I don't know. It like the look on his face was already just kind of just telling me like, I mean, what I'm doing right now. It really doesn't. It really doesn't even please me.
I got that.
That's why I was just like, I wasn't even trying to look in depth like that, but that's just the vibe I kind of got just seeing that, just watching it. Because even Saki just ran away and it's like,
yeah, especially because at first, because he was like, kiss me. He was like, no. He said, no, I'm not right now. I'm really not trying to do that. That's why I was like, maybe he's not really. Right, all the way into guys like that, man. Yeah, because especially he's like, nah, not right now. But I was like, oh, maybe he just did it because Saki was there, and I don't know. It was like super ambiguous. Like, it never came out and said like he was.
It was real like open ended.
Yeah.
I said, you caught. Right. She caught your gay ass, boy. You ain't never beating the gay allegations ever again. You're caught.
Yeah, and Maru, he was pissing me off. Just even with Saki, like then roast his ass by Maria, and it's just like, you need to find somebody. And then, because I'm pretty sure he was making doing a portrait of Maria.
He kept on drawing it.
Yeah, I'm just like, bro, why did you? Because I feel like Saki at that moment, I felt like even I feel like her relationship with Maria, like is real. But I also think Saki feels bad for Maru that she pretty much just took his bitch for the most part.
And she didn't even want her really like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't think. With that definitely rubbed me the wrong way with Saki's character. I was like, damn, she really being a dickhead. Because we see like her seeing Shun be with Satoru was making her so uncomfortable because she wanted to be with Shun that it was like. Man, like, you know what I mean? Like, you want somebody else's partner, and now you know what I mean? Like, talking down on somebody that wants your partner is crazy.
Right.
Yeah, she put a Takumi on his
ass. It was an interesting episode, I will say that. It was little minor details that kind of just stood out as far as, like, that whole scenario going, and then coming back from that time skip. You know, like I said, it was the first time going through, but second time seeing it's like, okay, what's the real message here that they're, hiding from us through all this nonsense?
All right, you ready for 9?
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple of different things happening in this episode. I had the Shun retrieval arc. As soon as this gets started, they like, hey, we about to go get Shun. I kind of questioned, I was like, how can they just like so casually leave the school grounds? Because they like going back to Shun's home village, crossing the holy barriers and stuff. Right. After like they try to go and see if they can find anything in his village and really come up with nothing, Saki goes back home, tries to question her parents about what happened with Shun, and they kind of like give her a hard time and yell at her. Mm-hmm. Saki goes back upstairs to her bedroom and she starts to like remember her older sister. Mamoru and Maria, they go to the courtyard at the old elementary school, and they kind of like run into a situation where like some of the, like the village elders are talking about how Shun has become like a karmic demon, and we see them getting like one of the cats out of the barrels where they was holding the impure cats at. Mm-hmm. What you guys have for 9?
They set it off for me. As far as I just wrote down, committee released the beast. Just go ahead and capture Shun, and honestly, we had the moment where they linked back up together. Mamoru going through his moment again. It's like they released the cat. But one thing I did write down, because maybe you guys can answer it for me, as far as why she had that flashback. When her and Satoru, or I think all four of them actually went to the village, in the Pine Village, to see where he was, when they came up empty, like nobody was there, the house was gone, it was just straight open. No,
like
actually, her was Satoru.
Yeah, like a crater, yeah.
Yeah, it was just straight up crater. But she seen like a little tree stub there, and then she had like a little mini flashback to like the Temple and Purification, where they all pretty much went in the beginning. Like, you guys kind of explain to me, because I still didn't catch on to that. Like, why she had that flashback.
I think it was just like, because I know what you're talking about. I had like paused it because I was like, what? You know what I mean? I was like, what's in this crater? What are they looking at?
Right.
I think it was just like the same tree stump, like the same type of tree, I guess.
Right.
But I don't know that. I don't know like the significance of it.
I took it as that was like where his house used to be, maybe, or like a significant place in the village where it used to be. Now it's like this big crater. Because obviously it's like, he destroyed the village. I was like, so maybe it was something there that was significant.
Oh,
and
okay.
that
I
was
see
the
what
whole
you're
thing
saying.
gone.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna have him like hemmed up on the cross or something when she had the reaction that she had.
Oh,
But no, I don't know why that flashback occurred, what that was supposed to mean.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Well, so it is crazy you had Shun retrieval arc. I had is Shun becoming the next emperor ? Especially at the end of the last episode when like the higher dude came in there and ran away. Maybe he was like, "Damn, I see the potential." It may be
That's
like
what I thought too.
they was like grooming him
yeah.
to be the next emperor.
that's
That's
what
what
I
I
thought
wrote
too,
down.
Yeah.
Okay. We kind of get that.
I see where you would say that. I think like more the secretive aspect to me, kind of like, because you almost feel like if they was doing something like that, it should be celebrated. But then again, like seeing how this village is, maybe not.
Well, because
yeah.
like early on, I got the jump that the village actually wasn't evil. Because like for me, like when I watch shows and like something's like specifically put out there, it's like, oh, these people are messed up or doing stuff. But it's not like outwardly, like they don't outwardly come and say it. My mind always goes to it's not what it seems. So I never actually took it as like what they're doing is like evil, like or purposely messed up.
Yeah, kind of like that. What is that show? Fuck, I forgot. But basically, like it couldn't be this obvious.
Yeah.
No, it got to be something else.
No,
man.
it's going.
They showing us like deliberately. Oh, they're fucked up. They're corrupt. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's for a greater purpose. Maybe
that's
there's more to it.
Yeah, that's what I kind of tell us.
Really.
I don't know. That's just me.
Right, but it was literally just that obvious.
Yeah.
You think that? We'll talk about that
It
later
definitely
on.
was just what you think.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later on.
They had some shit that was like, maybe not all the way with everything, but they definitely had some aspects of their society that was just like, yeah, this is fucked up.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Y'all got anything else for 9?
No.
No, not really.
All right, what did I have for 10? I had the cat at the very beginning. We see the cat attack Saki when she goes back to Shun's village and. She like goes into like this pond thing. I was like, this is a mutated forest, the Shun dimension. I'm like, I was like, what is this? Is he the whole village now? I had wrote down. But basically they talk and he kind of like tries to explain to her like what's been happening with him. We get the explanation that like the Hashimoto Ababan syndrome, which is like basically what creates the karmic demons and. Their power is so great, it leaks out subconsciously and it affects the outside world. So it's like, fuck, what do we do with them? Like, it's not really nothing we could do. So, yeah, he just went back to his hometown and accidentally fucked everybody up and killed everybody.
Yeah, because I wrote down, that conversation he had with Saki. I kind of got that in this question. So is it inevitable for anyone to just become the ogre or combine a demon because of their subconscious is leaking power to the outside world? Because if that was the case, everybody would be one just because how small amount it is. Because they say, I think it's later on, is that it doesn't leak out as much as a kid, but as you grow older, it pretty much just determines on what your mindset is.
So
that's why I was like, so just anybody. is inevitable, just the time frame when they get it, you know. But then I had a question. I was like, well, if that's the case, the adults, I mean, they wouldn't be really existent. If that was the case, the whole world's right now. So what is it? So what is it that keeps them intact from leaking their PK?
See, so I'm about to say with that, and basically like Shun definitely like explains it. He basically says, because Saki, he basically says that like, you know what I mean, like. He basically says like with the spiritual barrier, that's why they have the barrier up. Is that like basically they're, you know what I mean, all that power that's leaking out subconsciously from everybody, it all of it like it manifests outside the barrier. So you feel me? Nobody is inherently messing up the town or mutating stuff or people in the town as they live in the town. And so they said Shun basically when he got his power back, they said like the lid on his power was broke. Like they can't seal his power. So since you feel me, since he has such potential to be good and his lid is broken, that kind of like doubly like compounded how much power he's leaking out subconsciously because he doesn't have that original lid. And then Saki was like, well, dang, did I mess it up when I redid your ritual? And he was like, no, I don't think. You feel me? He basically was like, don't blame yourself. It wasn't you. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just, it's just something that happens, and it happened to happen to me.
So when was his lid broken again? You said outside the barrier, right?
No. When they were on the trip, no, they were still inside the barrier. I'm saying when he got his powers back the second time, like after it had been sealed, that it basically fucked his shit up. Like it messed the lid up, so he can't seal his power back anymore. So it kind of messed up the constraints that the original ritual in the Temple of Purification did on everybody's power that they do. It like messed that lid up. It messed that restriction on his power up.
Yeah, like how can it look like the lid wasn't as strong as the first one? Like
right, exactly.
Because she didn't do like the ritual as potent as like the elders did. Like she put a weaker lid on it, which led to a crack, and that's why his powers.
That's why it leaked that bad.
Because as you explained that, the flashback keep popping up where they mentioned the first ever one, Noda Decay. His pretty much was in the barrier, and nobody really fucked with his barrier. The second time, it just straight up leaked out. So I'm just like, okay, so was it because he was outside the barrier? Was it because they tinked?
Are you talking about the first, like in the second episode, like that beginning sequence?
Yeah.
You're talking about the first Karmic Demon?
Yeah, Karmic Demon, and like their time, because it was.
It talked about him being like hella lonely, like him being somebody that was smart and prideful. And he was hella lonely, and then if I remember, it just said like he left the barrier, and because you feel me, he knew he was becoming a Karmic Demon, and he knew he couldn't. He basically left the barrier and like dove in the lake, and they never seen him again. Type shit.
I thought they were talking about Shun. I'm not gonna lie to you.
The first time they
when I got to this episode, when you found out that he was a Karmic Demon, I thought about that. I was like, damn, was she narrating the story of Shun?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, remember, they were in class reading that. Somebody was reading that. It started with them in class reading it, because that's why I was like, well, damn, is all they learning just folklore and, like, you know what I mean, like mythic tales about the powers? Like, what's going on? So, I don't know.
Yeah. I was worried that was a tough way to Shun to just isolate himself from everyone. I mean, the unfortunate part that he couldn't stop what was going on.
Yeah,
he had a
sacrifice.
He accidentally killed, his whole village. Anything that was around him was just pretty much dying off. Bro. But I think they also went detail as far as, like I said earlier, the difference between, well, at least what I think, the difference between an ogre and Chimera Demon. I think he just flat Chimera Demon that just leaks out power and just kills any life form, a human life form, anything like that, and accidental destruction. But also wrote down, it's kind of cool to see that him being able to restrict the power just leaking through the orbs with him and Saki talking, and he just said, hey, we just got 10 minutes. I don't know how long I got just because of these orbs, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, I thought that whole sequence was pretty dope, and that was pretty cool, though, as far as episode 10 goes.
Yeah, the art and animation in this episode is definitely a step above what we had seen for the rest of the series. I love like Shun's like a little dimension space and what they do with that artistically. Why he just like let the cat kill Subaru, I was like, that kind of, I don't know why that kind of like threw me. I guess he was like, I was trying to focus on like holding the marbles or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't lose focus. But no, it was a good episode. That's everything I have for this one. Obviously, he says goodbye and everything at the end, and we see Saki like fly off.
Yeah. Which that was kind of trippy. Yes, watching say that was kind of trippy. I was like, I can't imagine being high watching this. I think it fucked me up just all the way, all the way watching it. But yeah, it was interesting. Like you said, just assuming the own dimension, like how this even came about. Like this is just anybody's power that just completely leak out of control. This is what it fully can do, or can anyone just do that, even with their power intact and mindset? You know what I'm saying? But I just thought it was cool.
All right, y'all ready for 11?
Yeah.
All right, episode 11. I said they pulled one right out of Code Geass on this one, man.
Whoa.
Everybody memory got wiped, and then they introduced Rio. In Code Geass, of course, they introduced Rolo, who tries to like pretend that he was Lucia's brother the whole time. So yeah, everybody memory got wiped. Saki kind of starts to figure it out, exposes Rio as a fake in the hallway when she like asks him questions about the camping trip. Everybody like tries to discuss like what memories they think is missing and trying to retrieve their old memories. Everyone except for Mamoru speaks to the ethics committee. This being eventually we learn Tomoko. And then they go off to I think this is when Mamoru runs away in this episode.
I think it's the next.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, this is like when they was playing the seeds, like how unstable.
Yeah, this is
was.
Yeah, this is when
Okay.
they all talk
I'm
and
looking
they
at the wrong paper.
basically find out that Satoru's grandma is the head of the ethics.
And they're looking at Saki to potentially be the next like leader of the village.
Yeah.
What you guys have for 11?
I just wrote down like how down to earth Maria was when she was talking to Saki in the classroom. She just simply implies that, not only you my friend and who you are and what you're doing is like being considered anyone can bear at that age. Because, Saki was just going on, like I said, call her naive in the beginning, but now she's kind of just like, what we're going through right now, like, yeah, it sucks and we need to fight for it, like what we really want to believe in. And everything that happened in the past, like I know it's tough. And then, Maki and, not Maki, but Maria, Mamoru, and Satoru, they just kind of just all just like dialing back and kind of not afraid to take that step, but just worrisome. And Maria just keeps on talking to her and just like, hey, like you're stronger than all of us. And Saki's just like, I am. And Maria's just like, yeah, you actually are, Like, yeah, you lost, someone, you can cry a lot, you do all this, but you're the toughest one out of the group. I just like how that conversation went with Maria and Saki goes. It was pretty cool. I also note that Satoru, I felt like he's not just as smart as Shun, but I think he's also intellectual, just as Shun, a little bit more than what people think he is. Especially when realizing something's wrong or putting pieces together. Because he's also just like, all right, Saki's right as far as like our memories being altered. Because I do remember someone in our group, but whoever this dude is, he wasn't part of that group. And they even started questioning him and all that. So that's why I kind of just taking light to more of Satoru at this point in the show. It's like, all right, Satoru's not trying to fill in Shun's shoes as far as like logical, methodical speaking goes. But I definitely started liking these two characters a lot more as far as this episode 2 goes. But yeah, I ain't got nothing else for it. As far as just what's the motive behind the ethics of altering the children's memory, I ain't kind of understand that. It's like, all right, what is it that they're trying to do for these children? Like, why are they just altering their memories for it? Like, are they afraid that they're going to spread all the information to the other children? If so, can they just do something else other than just altering it? Or just send out the cats as well. Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, that was all I got for 11.
Yeah, the only main part I got for 11, nothing, y'all guys, and Mamoru's a damn crybaby. Like, with Jeff, like, every time, like, he has camera time, he's always crying about something or something like that. It's just like...
Yeah, that was really... I was like, is he an op or something? Because they're trying to, like, remember they lost memories. And he's like, no, stop talking about it. Don't remember. I'm like, yo, is he an op?
Right. Nah, for 11, I basically, pretty much covered all the bases. I just put, I thought it was fraud, that it was almost like what do people be saying online, like the Mandela effect. Like as far as you seeing something, you like, dang, this ain't how I really remember it.
Right.
So yeah, I thought that was fried, and I thought it was kind of blatant because it was like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like with the other people in the show, like the other kids that had disappeared or became absent, the show never like emphasized, you know what I mean? Like these kids are being replaced. It was just kind of like they went absent and nobody talked about it. But with this one, I thought it was fried that they were trying to like replace Shun, like. Well, it's been this person all along, and it was never him at all. Right. So, yeah, I thought that was, you feel me, kind of interesting. That's what, I don't know, I felt that was kind of, like, sinister on the, you know what I mean, like the ethics committee or, like, the government, you know what I mean, like the adults part. I was like, damn, like, if y'all been doing that, people been disappearing, like, let it be that. But it's fried to try to, you know what I mean, like, erase it like it never happened. You feel me? And that being somebody, you know what I mean, like they was close to, that they care about, that was crazy.
Yeah, I kind of took it as it would be hard to like miss like the class rep, the most talented person.
Right.
Kind of be weird like that. They took it out all together. So let's just try to squeeze somebody in there, and why taking out that memory and hope that it kind of just meshes well.
I see what you're saying.
They like removed everybody's memories and then gave this innocent bystander kid some fake memories.
Some fake memories.
Oh, okay.
He's like, yeah, I was there at the campfire. Like,
yeah, that is true. Cause they were like, that is true. They were like, yeah, he's always with group 2, but man, he swear he in group 1. I'm like, yeah, this nigga sus. As soon as they introduced him, I'm like, oh yeah, come on.
Rolo?
They can see right through that.
all right.
Alright, already were 12.
Yeah.
Alright, I said this ain't no grandma.
Hey, Sato's grandma was bad.
This ain't no grandma.
267-year-old woman, man. That's how he talking.
300, 400 T, man. As she was looking, boy. Hey.
Saki basically talks with Tomoko in this episode. We get more backstory on ogres, how ogres come about. Tomoko talks of like a personal experience that she had with an ogre back in the day. And then at the end of the episode, after Tomoko and Saki get done talking, we learn that Mamoru is missing. This was the episode where he runs away.
Yeah.
So just going off like some of the stuff that we learned about the ogres, I have written down the ogres aren't affected by the death of shame. The ogres are like psychopaths with a dark and twisted subconscious. And that the education committee is given basically 17 years until they turn 17 years old to try to find any potential ogres and you know do what you got to do with them.
All right.
For episode 12, yeah, I put I thought that it was interesting how they basically with Tomoko's story, we basically got like a more in-depth look at like how their society works, because like up until this point, you know what I mean, it was just like the kids were kind of alienated from the adult, you feel me, because they just referred to everybody in the show up until this point as the adults. So I felt like this is the first time when we were able to see like, okay, like, you know what I mean, like we heard of different committees and like we're able to see what how they interact with each other. And like she had made a comment like, you know what I mean, like, well, I'm the one that said I didn't want y'all punished, but you know what I mean, usually they can do whatever they need to, and usually I can't interfere. So we were able to kind of see like the dynamics of that.
All right.
I think that's what stood out to me this episode.
The one thing I didn't cover, I questioned, I was like, is Mamoru going to turn into an ogre? Because it kind of seemed like his emotions was all over the place and he really couldn't handle himself, especially when he ran away. I was like, is this going to be like the start of it where he's not going to be able to control his emotions? And he kind of was going on the deep end, but...
Yeah, he was definitely off his rocker, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I was like...
Just off the information.
Yeah.
And I also, I think, like, Mamoru, I guess they never... And I thought it was interesting that they never took their memories of, like... You know what I mean? The other things that they learned from the Minashiro. Because, you know what I mean? Like, Mamoru, it was kind of like... as they talked about it, it was like he was just ignoring it. Whereas, I feel like Satoru and, like, Saki, like, as we come to learn, they were just kind of living with it. Yeah. But, you know what I mean? It was like he was trying to deny it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that was, was kind of pushing him to the edge. But after Saki talked to the mayor, I also noted that, like, as she was communicating with him, they were kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, Mamoru talking about, you know what I mean? He gone and you hella calm. Like, what's going on? And I feel like that was the moment where Saki kinda had come to terms with their society and how it was ran, and I feel like this was the moment where she was kind of like, I don't know. Like, I feel like before they were like really shocked, like, dang, how, you know what I mean? Like, how can the adults be doing that to us? And this is crazy. And what about our friends? But after this episode, you feel me? They dangle a little power at her face. Like, hey, you about to be the mayor, man. You about to be running stuff. And now she like, well, dang, I guess, you know what I mean? I guess eliminating these people would be best for the community. And this is for the greater good. So I thought that was interesting. I could kind of see, like, this is probably the turning point where.
Yeah, she was kind of just like, I understand, but I still don't necessarily agree.
Just for 12, I just wrote the difference between just karmic demons and ogres is karmic demons are just people that's just leaking power, that's just deemed uncontrollable just because their subconscious level. There's no way for it to just return to its normal state. Same with the ogre, but the ogre is more explained how Grandma explained it, was that it's just based off of human emotions. Because all the other ogres that they pretty much talk about, they all had like murderous intent or just ill will to just other people or whatever the case may be. And just their impulses in general against life. So I kind of just like split into like what's actually a karmic demon and ogre. Because I kept getting mixed up what to call them. Because all the same, they're using their power. So evil, one's using it for evil. The other one, it's just power that they just can't control, that just happen to be taking a life away from people. Same with the flashback she brought up about Uzumi. Same thing with her. When she accidentally killed, you see like the whole herd of cows just died. And it wasn't her intentionally doing that. Even they explained that her parents died, but she didn't even know that. Because once they actually sent her off to like a ducked off location, just like Shun. So, I mean, I kind of just felt bad for her just because at that time, she didn't really understand about it. Same thing. Well, Shun kind of was grabbing the grips of what he was doing.
He knew.
Izumi just flat out didn't know why everything was just turned out the way it was. So, it just kind of sucked for her in general. But, yeah. But, again, just to Jordan's point, you know, they was understanding that they was under wraps the whole time, just being watched by the whole group of elders and all that. I definitely wrote that down. Kind of figured that. I mean, it behooved that the elders wouldn't keep watching the group that has that kind of mindset and free will to think, just to not keep eyes on them and seeing that they already discovered the false M and all that stuff. So, I mean, just to make sure nothing comes back to the village, because who knows? So.
All right, ready for 13? Yeah. All right. Of course, Saki, Maria, and Satoru all look for Mamoru. They follow sled tracks in the snow until eventually finding Mamoru in this little cavernous cave thing where they figure out he was saved by a squonk, a monster rat, and he basically tells them again, these kids are never wrong. He tells them, hey, I think I'm on the village's hit list. I had, I think 2 encounters with a trickster cat, at least 1 for sure. And that's what I have for this episode for 13. Just really the whole first half is them trying to track down Mamoru, and then when they find him, he's like, hey, this the reason why, this the reason why I hit Ghost.
Yeah, I can't lie. When it's like a monster has saved him, you see one walking in the room, I was like, don't be squealer, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, please.
That would have been crazy.
Yeah. I was like, out of all people, you don't have this own a debt to this man.
I wouldn't want to be unconscious around Squealer.
Right.
At all.
No, I just wrote down, I just felt like, I know you guys saying that Maru's danger to the village and all that, with him becoming an ogre and all that, but I didn't think he was actually dangerous to the village in general. I just think that, back to what Grandma Toniko said, that you just got to watch out for the weakest link in y'all's group. And then, Kasaki was like, weakest link, what do you mean by that? And she just explained to her, just like, yeah, they may not seem dangerous, but they definitely can just because you think they're weak. And you guys with your powers and all that. it just be unpredictable. That's what I just thought from it.
Yeah, because at first I definitely took it as I wrote down, I was like, damn, if you're useless, you get off too. You don't excel at nothing.
I was
you just
like,
cooked.
damn.
Right.
I was like, damn.
I was they on that with Buddy.
You gotta be competent and
But
stable.
yeah, but it was like, man, he failed the test and he ran away. He said, yeah, I thought I was going to die, so I failed that test. Like, damn, for real?
For real? Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, yeah, man, if they was over Tinley, everybody would be dead.
For
real.
Swear.
Yeah, it was just probably, he just thought so hell-bound that he was going to be dead.
He was
and
right,
I was
though.
like, yeah, exactly. He was right, though. It was just fucked up that, you guys literally just running out the whole village. My man had no slither of ill intent or anything like that, but you guys just consider it's like, because he's not a product of what we wanted him to be, he just got to go.
But the setup was crazy. He said, man, the teacher asked me to stay after class, did some work. He told me to walk down this long hallway by myself.
In the back of the school.
Right next to the freaking courtyard.
Yeah, he said, man, he said, he only gave me 2 papers. Want me to take it to the other side of the school? It's just like, listen, bro, they moving trees with their mind, bro. You could teleport that over there, but I was like, they're setting you up, bro.
He said, yeah, man, he gave me like 2 pieces of paper, told me go to the basement of the school behind the gym. What's going on?
So, wait, did you guys think that was Shun that shaved him from the
I
the
thought it was
trickster
like
cat?
him using his powers, just like, sometimes because we see with Satoru a couple times, he can sense like stuff behind him.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just like, okay, I know it's behind me. I'm not going to look at it, but I'm going to just... But I did. Initially, I thought like maybe this was like Shun's influence, like saving his friend. But I kind of thought about it again. I was like, I mean, he could have just like, you knew it was behind him, and then he just like throws an attack behind him.
Yeah, but my thing is like, especially because they made it seem like he was struggling, and like how I was like, man, if they're not making cats that's strong enough to kill him, like what's the point of even doing that? You can just send the monster. Those are kind of figure like the trickster cats had to at least be somewhat stronger than the kids. That's what I kind of thought. I was like, man, Shun has all this power, so maybe he was like, oh, let me just look over him and do one last favor for him. And,
Right.
I don't know. That's just my thoughts. I thought it would have been a little weird if.
That's what I was thinking too, because you see like the black hole, and it is kind of reminiscent of Shun's like dimension. And
Yeah, because I don't think they ever like touch on it. Because I don't think anyone asked, like, oh, so you killed a trickster cat? He was kind of, he didn't really like explain exactly what happened to him.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought bro just, you feel me? I was surprised, right? I was like, dang, so he's strong enough to fight off the...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it'd be weird if they...
Like, what are you worried about then?
Yeah, exactly. It'd be a little weird if they made the trickster cats weaker. So that's why I assumed it was like Shun.
Well, they tried to let them all out on old girl, and
yeah, body them all.
Maybe.
Yeah, man, hey, it didn't
But she was
stop her. It slowed her down.
yeah.
But
That was it.
She was different.
That's all.
She was hitting different.
So I don't know. Yeah, but I can see what you say that.
Yeah. Did we ever get an explanation on like the collar that Shun gives Saki?
So,
Like, hey,
bro,
where is collar?
he
is
said he
so
had just
particular?
made it. Like,
Yeah,
he
Shun
said
just
he had
said
just
that he
made
made
it.
it to pretty much
protect-
block off the trickster cat.
Yeah, to keep cats away.
Yeah, my best guess is that
Like household cat. Like
No, I'm talking about like, did we get an explanation of like how does this work? Like,
No, I think
it's a collar. Put this
He
on.
said it's just a charm.
my best guess
Yeah.
was like an actual necklace, and he was like, "Oh, cats maybe they have like this preemptive like instinct, just go for the jugular." So maybe it's like if I just give her something that covers the jugular, she'll be all right. That's
I
what
thought
took
he.
it
I don't.
as.
That's what I'm saying. With their power, with everything they can do, I thought he had just. I don't
Well,
know,
that's
you
what I
know
was
what I mean?
expecting. Like some shit was gonna
Yeah,
pop
like
up.
I
But I
just
was
like
like,
imbued it with power. or
Yeah, like a
something,
blessings,
Yeah.
on it. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, he
that's
just
what I
gave her a
thought.
regular
It was a
thick
blessed
necklace.
necklace,
Yeah,
man.
just gave her some metal,
that
put
motherfucker
around
had
her
some
neck.
catnip in it because that motherfucker went right for the neck.
Yeah.
All right, y'all ready for 14?
Yeah.
All right. After hearing Mamoru's story, Satoru and Saki go back to the village. Saki is interrogated by the education committee. She in there squealing like a pig, man. Tomoko confirms for us that yes, Mamoru was in fact, due for extermination. They had a hit out on Buddy. They talk about how Group 1 was not hypnotized early because they had already had Saki pinned as like a potential next leader for the village. So they allowed their group specifically to keep their free will. And basically it's like, hey, y'all got 3 days to go get
Maria.
Yeah, Maria and Mamoru back, or we gonna send out a little notice to all the little monster villages, and it's gonna be all it's gonna be a price on your head.
It's gonna be all she wrote.
It's gonna be a price on your head. All the monster rat villages in the vicinity is gonna be given instruction to hunt y'all down.
All right. I thought it was definitely fried when Grandma and Saki was talking. She just got them view those trickster cats just right behind her. I just thought that was fried. I was just like,
bro, as soon as I seen the trickster cats, I was like, oh yeah, bro, they was getting.
Yeah, they was
as soon as you stopped talking, they was releasing the back curtains. Go get her.
Yeah, I just thought that was fried. Just that whole thing right there was just funny to me. I just said it was a good episode just for Saki. I mean, Joy said she was cool. I just felt like she just like stood up to the plate and just confronted them because it felt like she was just like going with the flow with what her mom and dad said, and then she was like, you know what, to hell with all this, man. Like, you guys are just pretty much just trying to kill us just because of this dumb shit that you think is endangering. But in all actuality, we're just doing this just for our friends and all that. And then I just thought it was just I thought it was a good scene in general just for Saki's character and all that to the education community.
She should ask for a lawyer.
Oh, right. Little girl in there on trial. Crazy.
Yeah, I just thought it was just a good scene, or a good episode just for Saki in general.
Because the start of the interrogation kind of irritated me a bit, because I legitimately wrote down, I was like, I wish she would just be truthful about the trickster cat trying to kill mom. Remember she says, like, yeah, they thought at this point, you're cooked. They know the truth. Yeah. They just want to know the details in between. I said, just call them out, but hey, that's cool. I'm full of shit. But yeah, you said the trickster cat. Bitch, I know all about that shit, man. Right. So if I die or not, there's people out there that know about it, you're not going to know anything.
Right. Yeah, because straight up, she was just like, you don't even know what you're talking about. You're just like,
I'm like, you about to roll out.
She was laughing.
You try to bluff this? Come on, bro.
She's like, stop lying, bitch.
It was just like
trickster cat. Man, that's a myth, man.
Right, whole time, literally in the background, you got 3. You got 3 laying down.
I got them in the back.
It was crazy because she was just like, you know, this conversation is just adjourned. Let's just get her over with, and that's when girl just step in.
Yeah.
Say like, you know what? I'm here for her. Let's just take her on the back. You don't do that. It's so back there. Just like, don't worry about it. I got it.
I did also write down like how much power Tomoko had, because she kept busting into the interrogation. She was like, "Hey, everybody, shut up. She cool. She with me. Right. Get the fuck out of here. We going in the back." I was like, okay. I was like, obviously, you got some weight on her neck, because before it was kind of just like, she's kind of like the mayor. You know, she's kind of this. It didn't like really have like in a pecking order, but that episode definitely like says that, hey, she might not have like the biggest title, but when it comes to like respect around like the village, she's way she's way above everybody else.
Yeah, can you definitely get a little background with Grandma, how old she is and all that stuff, and what she actually seen the first ogre encounterment and everything, which I thought was crazy. So yeah.
All right, y'all ready for 15?
Yeah.
All right. So we got Saki and Satoru. They end up at the Robert Fly colony, man. This bitch ass nigga Squealer is back, man. We see they got the queen trapped in the basement. They got like some colonies fused together with the queen stuck down in the basement doing nothing but giving birth. And they kind of like throwing off by it, like, oh, what's going on here? Some wild stuff going on here. And they basically go with them to try to find Squawk from the other monster rat colony, because when they had got back, the hut that Maria and Mamoru was staying at is gone. So they like, last person we seen him with was Squawk, so we need to go track down Squawk and see what he talking about.
All right.
Try for this episode.
15. Yeah, I thought 15 was a pretty good episode. I definitely had that written down as well. That Squealer was definitely, he's definitely a menace, and this nigga is shiesty. But I thought it was very interesting to see the monster rats had kind of like evolved from like, you know what I mean, like a queen, you know what I mean, with like their queen mother being like at the head of their society. And then basically he was like, even though he had gave the excuse of like, well, yeah, she was going crazy. You feel me? They basically was like, well, yeah, we got a democracy. And then when I heard, you feel me? When I heard Squealer say like, yeah, man,
we got a democracy and we believe that, you know what I mean, every monster rat's life is important. I'm like, I can see, like, something brewing here. They're definitely about to get, you feel me, like, fit and tired of being treated how they being treated.
When they got to the village and Squeak was like, kill them all. So we tried to get, we need Squawk.
Squawk, he was like,
he's like, oh, that's why we here. I was like,
this dude, I ain't gonna lie, he was wild. He was like, fire it off. I
bro,
said,
exactly. He knocked on the door once and then he said, man, shoot the arrow. I was like, damn.
He said, we gotta show them we mean business.
He said, you gonna let the peasant monster rat shoot the arrow at you? Kill them all. It's like, damn, bro.
I said, he's violent, bro.
It was funny. It was even funny, though, when they first seen him again, and they was like, you're looking for a rat or a squonk in general, and he just like, you just saw a look on his face just like, from which colony? They was like, we don't know, man. We just looking for our friend. He's just like, all right, let's go fuck some shit up. Like straight up, he just had that face, just like, y'all look for your friend. Oh, y'all look for a rat. See, happen to be with this colony. Yeah, let's just fucking go. That was fried to me. The way how he was talking, he talked like a human, but I feel like he talked more like a human when they was talking about the queen and all that stuff. More so like talking like a tyrant as he speak. And even like Satoru just like, you know, the square that we knew then, like, I had my worries about him, but now this guy, like, nah, we can't even trust him. Even Saki was just like, you know, why not? I can't even just like, you just hear the way how you talk. Like, from an audience perspective, you just hear the way you talk in general. Even before then, we already knew about that. But if you want to short now it's definitely a good, it's just blatant that he's just up to no good in general. But that scene was just fried to me. Talk about the queen and shit.
I definitely have it down when they were like in the new village and they were seeing like all the factories and stuff. The first third, I was like, all the monster rats have to die. They go to, especially you see them come out with the samurai suits. I was like, just kill them all right now. Just squash the issue. I was like, is anyone really gonna be mad? But hey, we watched out a monster rat colony. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no one's really gonna care. But then my next, I'm not gonna say that. Bro. He's going to that.
Yeah, they said the ants is starting to work on nukes. Hold on,
he said, hold on,
bro. He said we don't even got cement. I said,
But man, when he came, he said, we need to armor up. Came back in full samurai armor. I was like,
they woke up, they saw him out there. They was just like, oh shit.
Again,
about to be on business.
Nothing they theorize is ever wrong because we see Satoru in this episode. He's like, doesn't it seem like they trying to take our place?
Man, literally.
Hold on.
Swear to God, man. Come on, man.
All right.
I did have just one last quote. I remember my first watch through watching this, and when Satoru and Saki went back to look for them, and the hut was disappeared, bro, I was so pissed when I seen them, just like, don't fucking tell me y'all just up and left them just because. I was so pissed when I seen it, even rewatching, just like, why though? You know, I understand that probably Maria just cared about Maharu so much, or he had the plan of it, but it just frustrated me just because of that. So
I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised at all. Like legitimately, I was like, they're gone, bro. I was like, he's taking your bitch. He is out of here, bro. Like,
the moment they said last episode, hey, stay right here. I'm like, they're not going to stay right here. If we know anything, they're not going to stay right here. Let's get into this 16. Of course, Squonk gives him the letter at the end of 15, 16. Get the long Maria, Saki, like lovey-dovey flashback. Maria basically explaining like, hey, I'm gonna do me. You know, we're not gonna go back to the village. The village got it out for us. Mamoru is like the weakest one in our group. I can't leave Mamoru out here by himself. So me and Mamoru, we just gonna do our own thing. Tell the village that we dead. So they head back to the village, and on their way back to the village, we get Shun telling Saki, like in her subconscious, that hey, it's all right, man. Maria must die.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, I wrote down that's a terrible idea to go back and tell them that they're dead. Yeah. That sounds absolutely
there's no way they're going to buy that.
And the fact that they did was even crazier.
Yeah. Oh shit. I definitely wrote down Square once again strikes to be a bitch when my man's talking about. Yeah, we just get the bones, man. Yeah,
they say you got human bones.
Yeah, I was just like, bro, you say, I'm like, off this man, right? Off this man, right here,
he was definitely from this move. He said, "Yeah, I should definitely have killed some humans by
a couple of months. I know I can get you some bones."
Yeah. I was just like, man, y'all fucking kill this man already. This dude's up just no fucking good. Why are y'all stay here just letting him live? I just
creepy boy. Last episode, my man was like, "Yeah, man, that was our first time doing surgery, open brain surgery like that. The next time we gonna do it better, a little bit more peaceful." I was like, "Now he doing open heart surgery, man. They over here getting human remains." I'm like, bro, this man is
this man's up to no good.
Yeah, man, he's them creep. It's dangerous to travel at night, man.
Because I definitely
spend another night here.
I'm like, man, y'all about to be hog tied by the morning.
Man, bro, get away from me, bro. Back up. I need like 20 feet from you.
Squealer, man.
All right, man, let's get into this episode 17. We got another time skip, 12-year time skip. Let's see what I have for this episode, man. Saki, I was surprised Saki was not the head of the ethics committee by this point. She was like running some monster rat.
The mutation department.
Mutation department. They kind of like come to start referring to them as mutants, is trying to like start working them more into the society. We see one of the monster rat colonies is attacked, which is very out of place because now they kind of got like peace between the monster rat colonies. They got to sign up to go to war. Any unauthorized fighting is going to like basically end in the humans coming down, and wiping out the whole colony. So it's basically just like this episode is kind of like a detective episode in terms of like, we trying to figure out, who is brewing trouble in the monster rat colony. What you guys have for 17?
Squealer turned to Yakimaru, looking clean as fuck in that meeting,
man,
bro. I see it, I'm just like, bro. Hey,
was that this episode when they had that meeting?
Yeah. All that happened. They had the meeting and they had they like battle or whatever in this episode.
It was so fried when I see him, just like, bro, what? So I just wrote down, the robber colony become more of a human democrat. Political party. It was originally meant to be. Kiyomaru, obviously not feeling Yakimaru's bullshit. You can see him just gritting his teeth, just like, man, this fucking rat is being a damn rat. Just spewing out bullshit, bro. It was so funny watching that. And then my man almost broke a sweat because Tomiko pretty much like pressuring him, just like, oh, so you're talking about this colony attacking this colony, but aren't you guys friends with each other? So wouldn't that just make Kiyomaru's colony not what you think it is? And then Kiyomaru just had that little grin on his face, and he's just like, yeah, that's how it seems, but Kiyomaru, I mean, hey, this man could, how you know it's not a ruse? This motherfucker here could actually be the one that you guys are worried about and all that. So obviously he's just finding his way, hissing like a snake, telling lies again, being deceptive as one can be. But I ain't got much for episode 17. It was just all about Skriller, seeing him again up to no good once again.
As far as episode 17, we got to see like in depth how the monster rat politics work. I put they're definitely evolving right before our eyes. Squealer definitely was in that meeting with the silver tongue. Like, you feel me? He was definitely able to play both sides, and like, and I thought it was interesting because like I said, like from an audience standpoint, and like a lot of the humans, I have been underestimating the monster rats. Right. So like when I seen Squealer in there, you know what I mean, talking, and basically like you said, they had kind of like cornered him, like, you know what I mean, like he had told a good lie, and then I think it was Tomoko was like, yeah, bro. You said you didn't talk to him, but you know how the colony work, and it sounded like you got some communication with him, and you feel me? He basically used like a good tactic that you use in like debating, period, where you know what I mean, where you think of what the opposition is gonna say, like, hey, you might think, that because I know them, I set this up, and then he was able to, you feel me, counteract that well and kind of shift the blame. So I thought that was interesting, and then like it showed like, okay, these niggas are definitely, you know what I mean, they're definitely more advanced than just like, you know what I mean, like some humble, mindless creatures that they use for labor.
Yeah.
And yeah, then as far as they battle, I was already knowing something was up. I'm like, bro, these niggas got guns now. I'm like, bro, they shooting muskets and shit. I'm like, oh yeah, it's OV. No, I think that's the next. Oh, that's the next one.
I'm pretty sure it's
No, I thought it was this one.
Yeah, because they're sitting on the hill and they're watching. I think it's Inoue's talking about like how the giant hornets.
That's not that episode.
It's coming up.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure it's coming up. But I definitely said this is kind of like the first hint that the monster rats aren't actually just like because like it went from like because it was like the mutation departments. Like why wouldn't this be called like the monster rat department? So in my head I was like, well, either they're not actually like derived from rats, or there's more mutated like animals or something out there that we really don't get to see. So that's kind of like the first hint that we get that they, it's not how it seems.
Right.
Let's see. Yeah, it was crazy. Or maybe it was that episode. Yeah, 'cause I do have it. Yeah, it was that episode. 'Cause I have it written down because that's when they were saying that like before every battle they were taking like steroids or something like that. Yeah, it was that episode.
I guess that was the Legion colony. Like they was like
giant hornets
on some type of drugs. Like man, they be so fearless. Man, they be so determined.
The giant hornet colony.
Yeah, because that was a cold moment. After my man walked back up.
And they had more numbers.
Oh, yeah. It was cold. My man walked back. He said, my bad, man. I said it was going to take us an hour. It took us like an hour and a half to wipe. And I was like, damn. I was like, yeah, okay. But it was interesting. Like, now all the humans were seeing like how advanced they were. They were throwing bamboo shields. They had muskets, samurai armor. I was like, nobody's just like...
That's what I'm saying. They're not alarmed by that at all. Like, they really was underestimating them. Like, that shit's still harmless.
They said they got powers, man.
Yeah, it was kind of like trying to imply that they had like found like old ancient world books or whatever. It was like studying how humans used to fight wars back in like, World War I, ancient times in their words. So yeah, and did they ever really like get into like how they came upon the knowledge?
They never said.
They did.
I mean, they kind of like theorized like maybe they captured one of the libraries.
They said it was a Minishiro or a book, but they never came out. Yeah, they never came out 100% said like, hey, this is how they had it. Well, because they kind of.
That's what they kind of like.
Squealer, he talks about it like, you know what I mean. He talks about that. That's what they learned, like all the shit that they learned. You feel me? Like how to get their weapons, and they learn like where monster rats come from, but.
Because he doesn't say like
remember
or how.
What is the other general called the
Kamaru or
because remember at the last few episodes he was like, oh yeah, all monster rats knows that humans can't kill other humans without ogres. It's like, how do you know that?
He said it was common knowledge.
Yeah. He says, he said everybody know that. He said, yeah, y'all just don't know that. We know that, but he said we know.
Yeah, right. He did say that. That threw me off. I'm like,
they found some books or something. Shit. We hear Tarantula Hawk versus the Stimboros colony. The Tarantula Hawks just gave up.
Yeah.
And they just gave up, waved a white flag. So that's definitely something to like raise an eyebrow, raise a question mark, like what's going on there.
They had they switched sides.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, they switched sides. So it was like the giant hornets had won the battle, but the Tarantula Hawks had switched sides, so they was like, cause it's really a stalemate. It's like a win and a loss for both sides.
Cause the two theories I had, cause I saw the Theo while I was watching. My theory one was like, man, my man Squealer figured out the sauce. My man got powers now, and he's going crazy. My number two was that he got Maria and Mamoru and turned them into ogres and was controlling them. Those were my two theories. It had to be one or the other. I was like.
That's what I thought. Maybe he had them or was using.
But I was like, as much as I would like to see my man Squealer out there fighting humans with his own powers, I was like, option two is more likely.
His ugly ass.
That was wild. I was just like, oh,
he said, man,
low key how it's set up, man. Give him a couple 100 years, man.
They would have figured it out.
They're gonna develop them.
Ain't no death of shame operating on him, man. We gotta get him together real quick. My last note for 17, I said bring the old ending back, man.
The old ending.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, I like the first ending.
That's what I was saying before, man. The first ending is fire.
All right.
Alrighty,
You ready for 18?
Yeah.
All right, we figure out the robber fly colony was decimated. Kind of questions going up about were PK powers possibly used? They talk about how there was no weapons, how brutally the robber fly colony was defeated. Talk about how they was like ripped limb from limb.
Yeah, the arrows were destroyed or harmed or
right.
No
damage.
giant hornet colony type shit.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The robber
giant
fly
hornet-
was squealing.
yeah. Giant hornet colony. After this, they had the festival, and then bam, sneak attack.
Hey,
The monster rats attacked the festival.
tables
People
have turned.
dying. Right.
Yeah, that shit was
They
crazy.
try to get on them in the dark of night. I said Yakimaru playing them like a fiddle. Afraid of how dangerous they have become, the humans will now go to war against the robber fly colony. Yeah, Squealer's colony. And then I said she say it's tough.
Oh yeah.
He got to doing his thing at the festival. Yeah, after bro with the drum got shot in the back.
Yeah.
He got to getting the dudes who was in the disguises trying to dress up as humans. He said, "Bro, y'all not fooling me."
Yeah, that shit was tight though. I definitely thought he was gonna be dead right there from exploding. I'm like, damn, my man just one palm that shit. No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, the animation on that was hard.
Yeah, that shit was tight.
I love that scene.
Cause I was like, man, he's giving the term Four Eyes new meaning, but I was like,
Oh,
but they never explained that. Though. I was like, why does he have
Why does
four?
he have
Yeah,
two pupils?
yeah, exactly. I was kind of just like,
He liked that.
I don't know. You just born that way.
yeah, no, but I was sometimes like, well, maybe because like he's so much stronger than everybody else. Like, I don't know.
Right, maybe he like two people in one or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Bro.
all seen
He
it.
was him though. That's what he is.
He definitely was goated.
That's what that
Yeah, a little moment. Yeah.
Right.
Y'all had anything for 18?
18. Nah, I had a question of, you know what I mean? I was like, damn, how did they get in the barrier? But I guess they can freely come and go, I guess. I don't know.
I would assume so. If they like got him like in society, not like obviously not on the same level with them or like mixed with them in their everyday life, but if they got a whole like mutant unit, then you would assume they got him doing some type of labor or something close by to like benefit society. If they got a whole a department dedicated to them now, or
Right.
I mean that could just be Saki and like her personality being like, hey, we need this, and they like I guess, bro, if you want to make that, we can make that. But I don't know. That's just I never really thought twice about them getting inside the barrier.
Well, because they questioned it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Cause,
In that same episode.
Yeah, they questioned
They
it.
was like, what the hell? They was like, what is this doing?
yeah, because my best guess, I thought the ogre might have let him in, or like they just like dug a tunnel under or something. They never really went into it. I think it's just like a minor detail that didn't matter.
and also
I think, like, I had written down that they were they were really on the hit list. Like, them niggas were supposed to be exterminated too this episode. So,
Yeah, 'cause they were gone.
you feel me? It just so happened that it was like, you know what I mean? Damn, these niggas are showing up here. That's why I was confused. Like, damn, I thought these niggas were supposed to be dead. I thought these niggas were supposed to be getting wiped out.
Yeah, because after the meeting, they said after they like in the meeting declare war against the Robert Fly colony, they sent Inoue and like 4 other people on like this like Ombu Black Ops mission, and which is crazy. Which is why I go back to like the power scaling to me being inconsistent, because you send 5 people to go wipe out this whole colony, but then they get to bodying everybody at the festival. I'm like, bro, if y'all don't fight back.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I'm like,
But another thing I thought about also is Satoru poison proof. Because remember the little rat that was going around feeding people, giving people that poison because you seen that kill somebody else. I'm like, bro, I just seen him at the start of the episode take a shot of that to the head, and
Maybe it's different.
So they had some giving out regular liquor, the other one poisoning. No, it was poison everybody.
They said that's not no kid. That's a monster
rat. But he said, But my thing, I thought he would have been like, oh shit, I took a shot of that too. But he was kind of just like,
I thought that was Squidward, bitch ass.
Hey, I did thought they talking alleyway.
In the mask.
Yeah, bro. I was like,
so this fat
But you look
ass.
at his hand, what was that? But I was just like, man, what's this motherfucker?
This fucking cousin. Fuck him.
Yeah, that's right.
Are you ready for 19?
yeah.
All right. Saki and Satoru go with 3 other villagers to a hospital. A pussy ass boy stays in the boat while they go inside. They go in there, man. They see people dying. They see the someone with PK powers attack the hospital, and they took 3 hostages. They got him all tied up. Once they like let them free, they kind of hint at like some malevolent force or something that's gonna come back and kill him. And then they kind of like leave the hospital. As soon as they get outside the hospital, the ogre appears. And so they try to like book it out of there and get back to the village to try to warn everybody about the ogre. And we see the ogre is like on the boat behind them, following them. Mm-hmm. And that's at the very end of this episode. So what y'all have for 19?
One of the first things I said, Satoru is a master tacticianist, bro. But it's like
I really had that written down for like the next episode.
I said, bro, the strategies he make up, they never fail, bro. And it's like I also question. Like I talked to Phil after I got done. I was like, bro, what's up with like their sonar powers, bro? It's like, oh, there's 50 of them behind us at 45 meters, hiding here, here, and here. It's like, is that a part of their powers, or they just guessing? Because they did that a lot, and it was never like really came out and said like why that was, if that was part of their powers or not.
I don't know. They definitely left that kind of unanswered. Like, I mean, sometimes you feel me? Characters will be like, "Hey, I feel eyes watching us," or like in that specific scene, he was like, "Hey, it's too quiet," and then got to pinpoint like distance and how many it was and where they was at. I'm like, how the fuck you do all that?
I just think
he can hear the Legion.
Right, literally, bro. I don't know, cause
that's right. Yeah, they never do explain like the powers going on like that. I just think. Maybe it's based off experience or whatever. But other than that, it's pretty much like loosely explained.
Yeah, but it's kind of just like, man, because like everyone else you've seen, like people were actually killing each other, hiding in the grass and stuff like that.
And that was my thing too, is I felt like seeing how the ogre is attacking people and dispensing people. I'm like, because why aren't they doing that to the monster rats?
Well, okay,
like, you know what I mean? Like, why are they not just squishing them niggas in? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it kind of explains it was happening, but it's because, like, guerrilla warfare, like, how they were, like, hiding in the grass, like, tricking them, like, oh, y'all think we're here, but it's actually another human here. So they was like, oh, man.
And they were, like, dressing up as humans and, like, really giving people death and shame and all types of So, I understand that, but I just feel like in terms of, like, as far as the power scaling, you know what I mean? Like we see some characters picking up boulders and trees. We see some characters splattering heads and you know what I mean, ripping niggas from limb. But then you feel me? We get 5 niggas in a boat, 4 niggas on the shore. Like, all right, let's everybody use fire. And you feel me? They on fire, popping up, still shooting arrows. I'm like, cuz that wasn't even the most effective way to. You know what I mean? Like, Satoru said earlier, like, oh, I could have just used wind sights. I'm like, cuz, why are y'all not just sending blast and wind and cutting niggas up if that's the case? So, I don't know. It just seemed kind of, it definitely seemed kind of inconsistent. Like, this is the part when it was kind of like, it was hard for me to believe that the monster rats, you know what I mean, are really like even with the guerrilla warfare, like I understand that. So I understand the initial attack of like, okay, it's overwhelming. But as it went on, I was kind of like, all right, bro, what are we doing?
Well, you got to think, majority of the people there were just civilians. Like, most of the
civilians
had a little bit of training, but nothing.
But like I said, we still seen kids that were 12 years old picking up boulders and trees. So you telling me 10 adults, you feel me, can't take care of. You feel me?
Yeah, I took that as Satoru just being different, though. Because like, even like later on, you see a lot of the adults like, damn, you're kind of smart. You're kind of strong for your age. That's why I kind of was like, just because he's in the main cast, he might be stronger than everyone. Because they never came out and openly said that everyone's power is equal or some people are stronger than others. But I can see why you say it was inconsistent.
Back to, like, the inconsistency of it.
But yeah, I guess to go like Squiller's tactics were just
do they all have the same power? Do they kind of like specialize in some stuff? Because we see Satoru like making mirrors and shit, and
that's what I think it was. I think it was
Maria was flying.
They all kind of specialized in certain things, maybe.
I think that was just.
But they can all like use telekinesis and set stuff on fire, and in a way.
But that's what I'm saying. They all can instantly create fire.
The last day after this episode, I questioned. I said, "Is Mamoru the ogre?" Because that was kind of my theory. I was like, so it has to be Mamoru, or Maria has to be the ogre.
I thought it would be Maria.
Yeah, because I was like, it only makes sense. Like, how else would they get their hands on the humans? I was like, maybe my man Squid was like, "Oh, come live with us. Come in the basement." And hit him in the back of the head with a frying pan or something. Yeah,
Right, low key, probably think dumbass. Probably exactly how you got him.
I know y'all. I know y'all tired, man. Come on, we got food for y'all, and then that just turned into never letting them niggas go.
Yeah, but
that ogre was like the Terminator. How he was tracking their ass down. Every time they look back, oh, he's here. He's coming. Oh, I'm like, damn.
Especially on that boat. Don't even get me started. Said, man, they were laying down in the boat. My man said, "Don't move."
Oh yeah.
The ogre is 15 meters on the boat, moving at this speed, right by us. I'm like, how do you know that, bro? It's like, there ain't no way you knew that.
He didn't use nothing.
Nothing, bro. He's like,
and they was mid conversation. He like, yeah, man. So I think we should. Oh wait, hold on, shut up. Yeah, he right behind.
Does
I was like, nigga, what?
Yes.
But what was even crazier was like, hey, Saki's like, hey, should we book it? He's like, nah. The moment we start moving any faster, the ogre just gonna incinerate us. I'm like, so what's the wait? What is it waiting for then?
Nah, I mean he did explain. He was like,
she was trying to get back to the village.
Right, maybe it's following us into town. Yeah. But then, then I'm like, okay, so you just about let this thing follow you out into town. Like,
but then as soon as they jump off the boat and they start, pushing the boat with their power, you're just like, fuck it, light that shit up.
Well, because that's what
and then he turned around and went back to the hospital. I'm like,
we gotta remember because they used the mirror, like they reflected the mirror.
They used the mirror to basically hide them
jumping off the boat. Yeah.
So I guess he was right. Like the moment they sped up, that nigga incinerated and was like, okay, I'm about to go clean up that other mess I left.
Okay.
I did write that down. I said, damn, the ogre is ruthless, bro. It done double back. Like, yeah, I think I did leave some niggas alive back there.
Ogre was tweaking, bro.
Oh, yes. She was bugging,
I was like, bro, what did they do to her, bro? She was, she started screaming instantly. I was like, damn. I was like, I don't know what they got, but gave Shorty PTSD. Yeah, they had them wrapped up like mummies in there. I was like, what they in there doing?
She was under the effects of that Sukiyomi. All right. What was that one? 19.
Wait.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that was 19.
Oh, yeah.
All right, 20. Saki and Satoru try to make a plan to escape from the ogre. The plan works. They stay at night at like this random house they find. Then they run into like this weird mutant fish thing that destroys their raft and like can like shoot out like gunpowder and then ignite the gunpowder.
It was like a balloon dog.
Yeah.
Like mutated to be bigger than the ones that we had seen earlier. Yeah, which was crazy.
Yeah. Then. After like they get separated because the explosion like blows Saki away, she runs into this little kid throwing these like terrible looking CGI rocks at her. We find out Lady Tomoko towards the end of the episode gets injured, and we get like a look back at the village and the rats busting they ass, bro. I'm not gonna cap. What y'all have for 20?
Man, the one thing I had, I was like, bro, for her to have this important message about there's an ogre, I was like, she's sure taking her sweet ass time, bro. She's like, man, let's go see around the city. Let me go help some people, give some people water, get to know this little kid. I'm like, there's an ogre, bro. This is like, I feel like your priorities are a little messed up here.
That's just definitely jarring. Like, she had no sense of urgency, and it was just them running from the ogre. So I'm like, you just got blown in the air, barely landed, barely survived, and now you lollygagging.
But yeah, it's crazy. Legit, the kid was like, don't you gotta go see Lady Tomoko? She was like, yeah, you're right. I should probably go do that. It's like, how about you should be in there screaming, there's a goddamn ogre coming, bro. Yeah.
I'll say for episode 20, I definitely put, because I guess, I definitely put Squealer as highly intelligent. And then I put the Monster Rat Society. I put their society was built on thin ice, propped up by monster rats. Squealer consolidated majority of the rats, took out the rest, and got this. And then I put this nigga got his hands on an ogre, and now he's on ass. Like, and then when I thought about it, like how everything had led up to it, I was like, damn. So they had talked about how you feel me, like the robber fly colony had grown right before they got into it with the giant hornets. We find out, you feel me? Then I thought like, okay, well, that means that they must have lost the first battle on purpose because they knew that the humans was watching. And then the very next battle, we find out, I guess apparently, that's when they bring out they ogre, the secret weapon, destroy them niggas, you feel me? And then like, all right, now we ready and launch this attack. So I thought that was like, you know what I mean? I guess I was impressed with how much, you know what I mean? Like how conniving and like intelligent this nigga is. And like he really set it up. Like I thought they was all going to die. I was like, yeah, it's just going to be Squealer at the end. Squealer versus somebody. And
he was in the whole 12-year time skip in the burrow cooking, bro.
Telling you, bro. And that's really what I thought about. And I was like, bro, I wish we had seen more of that. Like, I wish the time skip wasn't that big, or you know what I mean. We got to check in or something, because just to get offloaded with all this information, like damn, bro, it's been 12 years. These niggas got guns. Apparently, they've been, you feel me, cultivating and mutating balloon dogs to use as weapons. They done got human costumes together. You feel me? They done devised a plan, and they thought so far ahead as to. You know what I mean? Like, they infiltrated, then they put something in the canals, made them shut the canals off. No. Then they started basically, like, isolating all the towns because they was like, y'all don't got no canals now. So they really turned up the heat after that. So I was like, just seeing, like, how they was dismantling the town, I was like, yeah, the monster rats, bro, they been in the lab cooking. Like, it's damn over.
Squealer spinoff story.
Bro, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. That's what I want to see. How did Squealer do it? He rose from the bottom, from the ashes, bro.
Squealer got the ending he deserved.
Yeah, definitely sounds like that.
That's crazy.
But
that's crazy to think, bro.
Yeah, there's plus like everyone else playing checkers and Squealer just playing chess, man.
Literally, bro.
Oh my God.
Squealer to go.
Yeah, he was like, man, you put up a barrier. Little do you know, I predicted that, man. We already got rats inside the barrier with gats waiting for y'all. I was like, damn.
Just, you know what I mean? Like, just them lying and wait. Like, they had an ambush outside the hospital. They go in the hospital. It's another ambush. I'm like, yeah, bro, they not playing with y'all, bro.
Alright, y'all ready for 21? Yeah. Alright. After meeting up with Tomoko, Saki is ordered to go to the Temple of Purification. Shisei back at the village start going ham on the monster rats for like 2 seconds till the ogre pop up and get him out of there. Once at the Temple of Purification, Saki gets a letter from her mom basically telling her that like, hey, America created this psycho buster that was supposed to be used to take down people with PK powers, and now you can go get it and basically use it to take down the ogre. They start heading towards the cave. They got like another one of the little library things. They asked Sid about it, and it's like basically it's just anthrax, and it's in this damn MMORPG cave thing. And they go in there, and it's just like a bunch of bullshit.
That shit wasn't a dungeon,
bro. Fucking video game ass dungeon. That shit was raw.
Yeah, I was in there freaking out when they said that they was like taking the babies. Because at first I didn't really put together. Oh, they take the baby. I thought I was like, oh shit, this nigga Squealer's trying to make an army full of ogres that's going to take over the whole world. I was like, yeah, my man is.
Yeah, so they talked that monster, right? It's like, we won't be down the new rulers and House of Messiah. The new ogres.
Oh, yeah, he stood on business. He said, man, I'm not telling you shit.
I was like, oh, hell no.
That's cool.
Man. Hey, everything he said.
He had some for his ass.
Yeah, bro.
That shit was crazy, bro.
He had some for his ass.
Yeah, also question what like the actual weapon was, because they mentioned before, so man, they about to go get like an AK or something. They about to go get.
It sounded like it was gonna be something crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's anthrax.
I said she's gonna come back with an AK to the battlefield and just get to.
And then pissed me off, bro. Her ass pissed me off in that like second to last episode with the anthrax, bro.
Oh, right. What
did y'all have for?
I was just thinking that too.
Bro, that's crazy.
What y'all have for? What is it? 21?
Yeah, 21.
21. Nah, y'all pretty much.
No, it's just 22.
Oh, 20.
Yeah, 22.
Oh,
Where did I? Remember
no,
mine?
no, we on
21.
21. Yeah, we on 21.
21. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because you start off with the fake Gojo going crazy.
I'd say as far as 21, I feel like y'all pretty much touched on everything. I think like we basically it's confirmed that it's Maria and Mamoru's kid who like grew into the ogre.
Is it?
Huh?
Is
No,
it
I don't think it's
confirmed?
confirmed.
Yeah, that's what
but I
they
think it was
said.
like hinted.
Well,
at.
I mean,
That's when you first seen
Satoru literally was like, I guess they
Never
got,
wrong.
you know what I mean? I guess they got Maria and Mamoru's kid, and now that kid's an ogre, and it grew up to be an ogre.
Yeah,
So I just assumed that.
Yeah, Kasaki seen
He got red
older
hair.
and was
She
like,
had red hair.
yeah, Kasaki looked at him and just
Yeah,
like,
because
damn,
I thought it was
like
Maria, but I was like, I thought it was Maria, but then when I got to thinking about it, I'm like, well, the committee did say that their bone, they tested the bones, they did thorough testing, it wasn't just fake bones, and they did DNA tests, so they knew it was them. And then I thought about it, I was like, well, shit, if it was Maria, she would be old. Like the ogre literally looks like a, you know what I mean, like a teenager, like a little kid. So that's why I was like, you feel me? Maybe it's their kid or something.
Yeah, but my question is like, how does Squiller do that, bro? How does Squiller get these two people that got powers?
That's what I'm
say,
saying.
Hey, make a baby, then we gonna kill y'all, then we raising your baby. It's like. It's I need to see how, bro. It's like, how did all those steps happen?
Ran up in the crib while they was asleep.
And they wouldn't even.
that's why.
And they don't even know Squiller. It's not like they had either one of those two characters had an interaction with him before
I
that.
think they did.
So-
they had a
They
little
did?
bit of interaction.
They seen Squiller, like, remember when they took him back to the
On the
shore
boat?
and everybody, like,
Yeah.
meets up again and
Okay.
Squiller, like, hey,
Yeah, because
we'll
Maria
see
freaked
y'all
out.
later, see y'all.
Yeah, Maria
Oh,
freaked out.
okay,
He was like,
okay.
oh shit, it's a rat. And he's like, oh no, that's
Somebody was holding his ass up in the air. It's about to
yeah. That's about to
Man, you got an op behind you. Hold on, bro.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
But I was like, how does Squirrel do that, bro? It's like 2 power users, man. Yeah, it's like how?
So it was funny you said that. Cause remember how I was talking about that? Cause my first watch through, I was just like, bro, we ever just never gonna see them two ever again? Cause I feel like it's hard to believe we just not. But I mean, my first watch through, I was just like, bro, we're really not gonna ever see. They just probably like have a happy life or whatever. Just like so blatant. But then seeing this again, it's like, well, maybe it is a child. I don't know. But again, to your question, it's like, how is it that he ended up killing them two? But it's more. But it's kind of weird because I think that maybe I don't know. They just had a happy life, and I think them meeting Squealer somehow they met Squealer again, and he probably ended up killing Mamoru somehow, some way, or it could be Maria, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe they felt like he'd be a great stepfather.
Great stepfather.
As far as that, I think. Well, I don't know because like you know what I mean. Like obviously, like later on we
Maria's
find out
older and all
that.
but
Yeah. So I mean. I don't know, bro. I guess he just took him out, bro. Like I just assumed he had took him out.
I mean, we seen what he's doing now. We seen what he's doing now. I mean,
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We see what he's doing now.
But
Like
I know, but I want to
like
see
truth be
how.
told, you feel me? Like if they was ambushed, if they was attacking and ambushing them two, how they was doing the village, I could, you feel me? Like I could see them overcoming them, whether it be with like just over time, you know what I mean? Like them getting tired, you know what I mean, from using their power, defending themselves, or like them catching them really by surprise and injuring them to the point where they just give up.
She can fly.
Yeah, like, but
Right.
But she
Mamoru
can still
can't,
use her
though.
power
She
to
could
pick
just
him up,
levitate.
though.
Yeah.
And Satoru did say that even if she had to carry him, they could go hella far.
yeah, that's what I wanted to see. Like, how what was he cooking? up
Yeah,
to get
that's what I'm saying. It's a lot. I don't know. I feel like this show leaves a lot.
Yeah.
Leaves a lot
Squirrel
of
can
questions and like a lot of stuff to just be like assumed or like you know what I mean. You
Audience
fill in the blanks.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't-
why I had
yeah.
a problem when I
That
first
shit-
watched through
yeah,
it. I
definitely
think
got
that was
a
like my
problem. That
biggest
shit
gripe as far
sucked.
as the show goes because there were certain aspects
Squirrel
of it that
can
were
fly.
just like it was certain aspects of the show that I want answered, but probably just
Right.
didn't get answered to, especially this
Exactly,
particular
yeah.
one with Maria and Mamoru. It's like It's frustrating because it's like, what happened to him? Because this character could resemble their child or be one of them too, or Maria, but we don't get a clear-cut answer.
He snuck in there with the shiesty on and did what he had to do.
Hey, maybe. I mean,
Right, you know what I mean?
Like how they improve,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense how he would get a hold of the kid. That's what I'm saying.
They say give him a couple
on the shiesty,
but he did say at
that's
that
what I'm
time give him
saying.
a couple months. So maybe they just been hanging around with him the whole time.
And that's crazy too. Think about it. Like, that's crazy, bro. Like, how was he able to? You know what I mean? He said a couple months, but I'm like, cause a kid take at least 9. So you know what I mean? I'm like, she wasn't pregnant before she left. So, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm like, was he just following them and they happen to have a kid? Or did he capture him and make him have a kid?
Yeah, about to say, do you think that he captured him?
He had to. He had to.
I don't think he actually made them.
Had to.
I think that once
he didn't have to. Yeah, once he locked them up, they gonna do their thing.
No. I only think that. I think
he captured him.
I think once he heard that she was gonna have a baby, I think then he may have killed Mamoru at that time and just tied her up until she was gonna give birth. I don't know. But
what is tying him up gonna do?
I don't know what's tying him up, but hey.
Okay, idea. So
now you see how I feel.
What if he did the same? What if he somehow tricked them to stay in the little colony and did the same thing he did to the queen to them? That's like the only thing that kind of makes a little sense.
Because they don't really specify.
Yeah, he could have. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. Like,
enjoy these.
It had to be they actual.
He's diabolical, bro.
Hey, that's
Squealer Colony. Squealer Colony, like R. Kelly house, man. Get in there, you not getting out, man.
They show how sick he could be.
Man, got a scalp in your head, but don't worry, man. No little maintenance.
Right.
Yeah, they definitely didn't want you to think too hard about how all that happened.
Yeah, need a spinoff, man.
Come on, y'all got some explaining to do.
Need a spinoff, man. They should answer them questions here and now, man.
Alright. Y'all ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Alright, this is the one they talking about Tokyo, right? I have mine labeled as 23, so maybe I just have mine labeled.
22, yeah, talking about.
Yeah, that's
they finally set out to leave. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What I have for this one? They talked about like how PK users, the idea of Tokyo kind of turned it into the hell that it was in reality. Like their subconscious thoughts about hearing about how bad Tokyo was after like the nuclear fallout from like the old world. So why is the Psycho Buster in this shitty ass cave? Like, you thought maybe they could just have some anthrax at the village on hand. You know, this whole society is about motherfuckers is scared of a ogre or karmic demon ever coming about. So why not just? You think they have a whole closet full of it?
Well, I think how that kind of explains like my best guess like it was only one of it. Like it was something that like,
anthrax.
No, of that charm, like, only, like, a handful of people knew about it. Because it seemed like she was like, only reason I know about it was because I worked in the library. Like how the letter was written, it was, like, not even alive the higher-ups even know about it.
Right. No, that is definitely true.
You gotta start passing that knowledge around. I don't
know. That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's kind of, I don't know. I feel like that doesn't make sense to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like their society goes through a lot of lengths to kind of, like, weed out or like prevent karmic demons and ogres, but they don't have nothing to safeguard if they miss it. You know what I mean? Like if a nigga slip if somebody slipped through the cracks, nigga, the village done. Like I don't know. To me, that didn't.
Around with that shit on their
Wheeler, man. You see what he's.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy of them to think that like, okay, if anybody ever get out of hand, we'll definitely always be able to seal their power up and sick some monster rats on them before they can do too much damage or hurt anybody or anything. Like
they got the Gojo Wheeler combo.
That shit just don't make. I don't know. That shit just dumb, bro. Yeah, I wasn't feeling that. That shit was kind of dumb to me.
They split into two teams. So we see Saki and Inoue try to go back to retrieve the submarine so they can go through this like underground cave canal thing. While was
Murray and them chasing him.
yeah, they was like trying to act as like a decoy or something.
I'm not glad he was acting sus as hell, bro.
The damn
Kamaru?
Yeah, he was like, man, he's like, I know it's dangerous out there, but go ahead, go out there at the middle of the night with the most dangerous monster.
yeah, you know what it was trying to sussing.
It's kind of just like,
And I feel like the show does that a lot, where like it'll kind of where it was a few characters where you know what I mean. They had kind of introduced the idea of like, hey, maybe this character can't be trusted. You know what I mean? Like maybe they acting a little weird, and then they just double back and be like, nah, never mind.
Well, because then they said later on where he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, if it did go south, I was kind of just gonna go over there with them. He did say something around the lines like, yeah, I did kind of want. Yeah. He's like, if it went south, I'd have been on the kill all humans.
Yeah, and then he had talked about going to Tokyo, and they was like, well, dang, why was you in here? And he was like, well, shit. I was looking for a weapon to kill y'all niggas too.
Yeah.
We just suffered so many casualties. We ain't find nothing, so we left, and we kept being loyal. But hey, any monster rat would like to not be under y'all thumb type shit.
Yeah. We searching for weapons of mass destruction.
Right. Anything to kill a nigga with powers. I swear you gonna need it, bro.
See, Yakimaru catches up to them. And then, oh my God, this bitch Saki, bro, uses the damn anthrax and just so it won't affect Satoru.
Yeah.
Catches the dash, ignites it.
And she burns it.
I'm like, bro, you couldn't use like a wind to like push it over there just towards the ogre. Like,
why didn't
so
they
it's not gonna
use
get
a
to us?
They've been using a shield since like episode 1. Just shield him.
Oh yeah.
That was why didn't he shield himself?
The force. Right.
Man,
That's
what pissed me off. She was like, I'm so sorry, I'm selfish. She said, bro, you just put the whole world in jeopardy, bro.
And I also didn't understand how using the anthrax was supposed to avoid the death. You feel me? Avoid the death of shame. If you know what I mean, we see like in this episode, even if a character inadvertently attacks a human or a character hurts a monster rat that looks like a human at a distance, they feel the death of shame. I'm like, so you can poison a nigga willingly and feel no qualms about it. But if you use your power or if you smack a nigga and he get hurt, you gon' almost die? Like that's I don't know. That shit was good, like silly to me, bro.
I used my power to lift a giant boulder over them, and then I just stopped using my power. They died. They got squished from the boulder, but technically, all I did was use my power to lift up this giant boulder. Like, bro, what?
Yeah, that was
I don't know. It is a weird dynamic. Maybe it's like the cutoff of like what's your
right. I guess maybe because they didn't use their power to throw the anthrax, but it's.
But if that was the case, they should have just went to Squealer and got some gats and they could have made their own guns and put her out her misery way. You know,
that's options. But I don't think.
I ain't gonna lie. If a gun worked on that bitch, I'd have been upset.
I think they.
Hey,
low
key,
bro.
bro.
Much because they would have been advanced if that was the case.
Now if he had a bear 50 cal in that motherfucker, hey, that's a different story.
Now low key guns did work. You just ain't catch nigga off guard. You feel me? You ain't gonna shoot no. You feel me? No nigga with telekinesis in the face.
Which was
obviously I could see them stopping the bullet, but
sometimes they had like defensive bubble barriers, and then other times they just didn't. Like when the bitch ran down the hallway of the hospital and just got darted up. I'm like,
I put it like
the
this.
Damn barrier.
I say to that point, I will say that they did kind of emphasize the fact that like to use their power, they had to like really like visualize and concentrate. So you know what I mean. It was a lag between that, and then it also was emphasized with Shun, and he basically was like, you know what I mean. Like that's my problem now is like I gotta concentrate to not use my powers. So you know what I mean. I could kind of see what you're saying, but it was lame that I felt like it wasn't like. A power, like a reflex, you know what I mean?
Maybe it was a thing like
or
that,
something like that. Yeah, like why wasn't it a barrier they could always have up, or like okay, I need to watch my back now.
For some time, like hey, I'm about to go down this dangerous corridor.
Right, yeah, right. Like let me put, you know what I mean? Like let me put a field around me that like is pushing things away.
Millions of times to block arrows and all this other shit. I'm like, the fuck is y'all getting shot up for? But hey, that's. Hey.
Yeah, if I had telekinesis power,
what do y'all think overall of like the action and the violence in this show? Just like the little blood balloons and the everybody just like exploding into like a pile of blood and little. the little sound effects and
just the deaths in general.
Yeah, like the violence, the way the violence was depicted in the action.
I wasn't too big of a fan of it, to be honest. And like I was saying earlier before we started recording, I feel like, you know what I mean, I've been kind of needing, or I've been kind of wanting, like, you know what I mean, to see some, like, good, like, cool action or whatever the case may be. This show definitely has action and, like, death. People do die. People do fight. But it just didn't kind of scratch it for me. I feel like with the power that they had as far as it being telekinesis, like I said, I feel like you get flashes of, like, them using their powers in, like, a cool or creative way. But it's not all the time. So I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of the times I'm like, cuz this shit's really lame type shit. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, y'all just picking up objects and throwing it. Whereas, you know what I mean? Like, you show me you can instantly create fire. Like, you might as well just start firebending at that point. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Especially later, because in the last art, it's just everybody walk up to somebody and
yeah.
I'm like, bro. All right.
Yeah. And like I said, that was probably when it was coolest. Like, okay, seeing a nigga power do that.
Those scenes was cool. Like, but later when they just get lazy, when it's just like,
yeah,
everybody just
niggas just heads explode.
Right. I'm like, oh,
damn, okay.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the violence and the action goes, I wasn't really. First watch through, it kind of caught me off guard. I mean, I knew it was going to be that much because how they set the show up in the middle from, like, episode maybe, like, 6 in between 17. So I wasn't expecting too much violence in general. I just knew it was going to be some with the monster rats and humans. Just didn't know what kind of level that they was going to use that as. But, I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great either. I just think it's just enough for this show for what it's trying to achieve at the end. That's all I just think for it. I mean, if I really wanted more action, I'd be like Fate Zero or whatever, something like that. If I didn't want less action, I'd go.
I understand. I understand that. I think, you know what I mean? I just, I don't know. I just feel like, even with that being said, like, a show might not focus on that specifically. Like, all right, it's not an action show. But at the end of the day, I'm like, cuz the whole show is predicated on niggas having powers, and like that shit should look cool. Like, I should want to see it.
It was enough just because of, like, to y'all's point of them just bodies, heads getting decapitated, right. Fucking ring like a rag and shit like that. I just think it was just enough for this show. Just pertaining to the premise of what it was trying to deliver to the audience and all that stuff. Okay. Yeah. So I don't think it had to go too much overboard as far as the action goes. Because I think it'll probably be overwhelming if it was just action like every episode or every 2 episodes, something like that, because of what they're trying to tell the audience about what the character is doing and shit like that.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like it was serviceable. Like, obviously, like the story was like the main part of it. I feel like it was just enough to like keep people entertained, but not like it was like over the top. It was like they just hit bare minimum enough, like when it comes to like the gore and the action to keep people.
I feel like it was.
They could have, and they just didn't.
Yeah, like I understand what y'all saying. Like, yeah, I mean, of course I would. Yeah, I mean, of course I wouldn't want them to overdo it or add too much action. I feel like for me, I think it was just like a personal thing. Like, it just didn't. It wasn't cool. Like, that wasn't the most interesting part of the shit was the action. Right. Which, you feel me? Which, like I said, I feel like with the power, like, there's a lot of things they could have done better, you know what I mean? Like just the simple fact of the death of Shame, I feel like is a very interesting route to go with a story, you know what I mean? Like, with a world like this, because at the basis of it, we're talking about powers. Like, I want to see these niggas use their powers. Right. So, I mean, I get it. Yeah, I mean, I get it. You trying to tell a story, but I'm like, you feel me? Like, I don't know. I feel like the show kind of, and like, towards the end, I feel like the show tries to do like a big philosophical, like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, hey, this is really what the plot was about, and this is really an important part, but I'm like, because we didn't see a lot of squealers, so that doesn't really have a lot of weight. I feel like, well, not, you know what I mean? Not necessarily squealer, but just like, you know what I mean? Like the treatment of them and where they were coming from, because like I said, at the end, they try to bring emphasis to it. I feel like they didn't really hit the mark on that, and I feel like the powers, bro, like, the power scaling was inconsistent, and it wasn't cool to me. Like, I'm just like, bro, this shit's, they're doing the lamest shit with the coolest power you could have. Yeah. And like I said, I feel like even with their society, I'm like, y'all not even using y'all power
to do cool shit that will help y'all and benefit y'all in y'all daily life. So it's like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
Yeah, I'll give you that. Like,
I just didn't really care for it too much.
Yeah, they didn't explain the powers well enough. Like, I would have preferred more like, oh, only certain people can use fire, and only certain people can use.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like everybody can kind of do some of this, some of that. We're not going to tell you exactly what it is, how they explode in people's head.
Right.
Yeah, it's just kind of like.
And I also felt like it was weird that like they were so adamant on. Their society was so adamant on, like, you know what I mean? Like, taking out people that didn't manifest the power or, like, were the weakest links, you know what I mean? Or couldn't use their power effectively. But as we see, nigga, the power is the main problem. Like, it's the main source of all the problems. Like, your whole society is built on, you feel me, guarding against karmic demons and ogres. Why the hell are y'all only culling niggas with power? Why do you want more people with powers? And y'all own, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't... Like that's like a society built on trying to prevent diseases and plagues, but nigga, y'all killing everybody that's not a messy eater. That doesn't make sense. Like, these are the people that turn into karmic demons and, you know what I mean, ogres. So it kind of, like I said, the death of shame shit, all that, it just kind of threw me off. Like, I didn't think it meshed well. Like, I feel like they could have did without something. They could have did without the karmic demons and stuff and focused more on the monster rats and made that a bigger plot, or they could have said, forget the monster rat shit, let's focus on, you know what I mean, like human nature and the karmic demons and the ogres, and it would have been cool either way. But I feel like they tried to do a mix of both, and they didn't really hit the mark so far as episode 23 for me.
Yeah, I feel like that it was balanced. It wasn't like too much or too little action. I just feel like the style of the action, like the blood pinatas, was kind of like lame. To where I'm trying to see somebody get limb chopped off, throw them up into the atmosphere, throw them to outer space. Like, they could have did some cool shit, but I don't know. It was obviously more story driven, but they still could have. I wouldn't like get them a full pass. Like, y'all could have did more with the action, and y'all just didn't.
Sure. Or just the powers in general.
Yeah.
If not the action.
Let's get into this last episode, 25.
Squealer to go.
Fuck Squealer. All right. Obviously, at the end of 24, Saki talks about, the child. Shun keeps telling her it's not an ogre, it's not an ogre, it's not an ogre. Light bulb pops up in her head at the end of 24. Hey, I got a plan. We can defeat the ogre. I know I fucked everything up a second ago, but it's cool because, hey, I got a plan now. Kiramaru ends up sacrificing himself to trigger the death of shame in the child. They dress him up like a human. She fall for it, kill him. She got the death note, heart attack. Lightning wrote her name down in the death note. She's done. Yakamaru is made a prisoner. They got him caged up, fucked up.
They put that boy on trial.
Naked, bro.
Yeah. I was like, why is he naked? Give him some clothes and a rag or something. A sheet or something.
Embarrassed, bro.
They got him down bad, man.
That bling bling shit's gone.
We find out somehow Saki's parents died. And it's like, it's nothing but monster rats at the village. How are people still dying? Like, I didn't know. That just didn't sit right with me with Saki's parents dying, because I'm just like, bro, how?
Well, that kind of makes sense.
No,
They said they had an army of like 10,000.
Well, not even that. They said
you can get overran.
Her parents died, like the ogre was there. Yeah, the ogre was there, and like,
was he there when they died?
No. They died. Remember, they went to the library to burn the important
books,
books, so they didn't get the information. Then they just got overran by ogres and the ogre.
Yeah. Because
so it wasn't like you feel me, some monster rats.
I'm not saying I'm ready.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, we get Saki. She details like Squealer's path of destruction, all the little pit stops they make on the way to like following them. And how they like go and destroy the temple and everything. We get infinite hell for Squealer.
Yeah, that was tough.
We get
that was probably the coolest thing that I seen them do with their power.
Right, with like the violence and like the gore of the show.
That was crazy.
Monster rats. We get the revelation that they did in fact used to be human. At the end, we see Saki in a museum. She talking to Squealer, whatever. She puts him out of his misery. Unfortunately. And then, Saki gets married at the end. Satataro, and bam, the end. Happily ever after. Yes, and she is preggers.
Yeah, one thing that I definitely had at the start of the episode, I was like, please don't have her try to talk with no jutsu this goddamn ogre, bro. I was like, I hope that's not what's going to happen. I was like, don't go out there and try to talk to him.
Yeah.
And the next thing I was confused about, so she told me my man just threw some bandages on his face, and she thought that was human. She thought that they had a third person in there that they never seen, or you think that what's name just grew 2 feet taller out there. It's like
through the shirt and pants on.
Yeah, it's like I guess, man. She's like, well, that was the best option. I didn't kill her. I was like, you wasn't gonna kill her anyways. You didn't even throw the charm out. I was like, your hands was clean. It's like, what are you on about?
So I feel like that was crazy that she kind of, you know what I mean? Like, obviously I get it, but you know what I mean? She was kind of like, I don't want to sacrifice Satoru, but we can definitely sacrifice you, nigga. Like, you just a monster, right, bro? You can die for sure.
But at that point, they should have just gave him the charm and just had him throw it at her.
And even like he had said that when he was like, I think like the episode before this when they were running through the cave and he was like, hey, I need y'all to show yourself just for a second to the ogre so, you know, we can, you know what I mean, so our plan can work. And them niggas was like, yeah, I don't know about that, bro. You want the ogre looking right at me? So he basically like, hey, I can't make you do nothing. And obviously you can kill me if you want. I don't know. I feel like that really, especially that and like, what Squiller said in the trial, man, shouts out to Squiller. Man, I feel like the crazy thing is we following these humans for the whole show. We learn about everything they going through and how they so oppressed. But at the end of the day, bruh, you got some monster rats just over yonder that's been mingled and mangled and mutated. Now they look like beasts, you feel me? They under the thumb, they, you know what I mean? They being forced to do labor, they getting colonies wiped out at the whim of a hat. Like, the monster rats really are the true, like, victims in this story. That's why I said, you feel me, Squiller the GOAT, because at the end of the day, like he explained, bro, like, when Saki had asked him, you know what I mean? They basically asked him, like, why did you do that? And he like, well, you feel me, once I learned that we really were human too, you feel me? He like, then, you know what I mean? I felt like, okay, cuz I don't want to be a slave. I don't want to be pushed around. Like, this is not right. Y'all been treating us bad. And you feel me? She had asked him, like, but you kill hella people. And, hey, that nigga Squiller said, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Nigga, like, was we plotting on y'all to take y'all place, or was y'all really oppressing us? And then we had to start plotting. Which, you feel me? I feel like the ending is kind of crazy that, you feel me? The humans end up, you know what I mean? Like, surviving and winning the day. Right, true. But, yeah, I just thought it was crazy, bro.
I see, like, why some people could have been like, oh, underdog story, they fucking with it. I just was like, hey, bro, Squiller, bro, unfortunately, bro.
Unfortunately, you on the wrong side,
some motherfuckers got power and some don't. Like, even in the real world, like, hey, some people just, you know, let's say it's like a war or something, and then your land get taken over by the Mongolians or something, and they're the ones in power, and y'all like slaves of the war, like, those in power is going to have the edge. So he trying to sit there on his soapbox, talk about, hey, we equal, we the same. Squiller, bro, y'all really not, bro. I'm sorry. Like, they got power and you don't. Y'all really not the same. They got powers and you don't. Y'all similar, but y'all not the same, bro. I'm sorry. And they gave him that once over. He seen that they had power.
Nah, I feel that. I just feel like, and like even like he said, you feel me? He was like, the only thing that separates us, like, we're human too. The only thing that separates us is, you feel me? Like, y'all power, and I feel like that was like an idea and a theme that you know what I mean, the show was trying to emphasize the whole time. Because like I said, the monster rats really were like mirroring our human society and culture as far as like the things that we've done in history. Like, and I thought it was crazy because I was like, okay, they look like beasts. And you know what I mean? Like the kids, like Saki and Satoru, they looking at them like take the young and enslave the losers of the war. You know, feel me? And do different things like that. And they're like, dang, that's barbaric, bro. That's crazy. But I'm like, man, that would be y'all if y'all didn't have the death of shame. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's real human nature right there. Like, Nick, you feel me? Like, people coming together in the community, their community being threatened or their community is growing. Okay, now they got to make different decisions as far as what we do, you feel me? How can we get resources? And I'm like, that happens all throughout history. So I felt like it was definitely an underdog story for the Monster Rats, for real, man. Shouts out to them. Shouts out to them, man.
Hey, I can't lie. Skrullo was my favorite character. I feel like.
You said least favorite character?
No, my favorite character.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, mine too. I definitely.
I think that's saying more about the characters, but go ahead.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like he just really like progressed the story more than really anybody else and made it go on. True. But yeah, I do agree. I think they should have showed like Monster Rats being more oppressed because it kind of seemed like when you see him, like there was kind of more just chilling.
That's
really
what I'm saying. It didn't have a lot of weight, and I felt like at the end that scene, I was watching it like, damn, this nigga right. Then I got to thinking like, damn, he's right, but I don't feel it. Like it don't got no weight. Like you feel me? The show hasn't been like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like giving this that's why I said maybe we needed more time with Squiller, and maybe if not that, just like showing like how oppressed and how, you know what I mean, how it was kind of like really like, damn, we really under their thumb, or we really getting wiped out and don't know why, because
that's why
when he said that, I was like, nigga,
I felt like the show still punished him because he was like, it was almost like kind of his view was almost a little bit warped, almost like jealousy, because they like, bro, we give y'all own area, we let y'all do y'all, we don't really intervene, but he like, bro, but if we do something y'all don't like, bro, y'all got the power to just come kill us all. And that's not fair. And like, bro, but we not like, you know, making y'all slaves to us or nothing. Like, y'all still get to have y'all own area.
Definitely were slaves.
Y'all shit.
Yeah, they definitely were slaves. They had them niggas doing labor. They had them niggas. That's why all the humans had powers, and they didn't teach them niggas trades and shit in school. Them niggas was librarians and shit. Bro, the Monster Rats built everything. They took care of their dirty work. They killed niggas. They hid bodies. You know what I mean? They did everything, bro. Yeah. Farming, all that shit literally like if the Monster Rats don't do the labor, that's literally what they said. We got loyalty to y'all, and we do y'all labor. That was the whole thing. He was like, cause if we want to grow and prosper, you feel me? He was like, if we want to grow and prosper, we gotta be at y'all beck and call. We gotta submit these forms. If I get attacked, my colony can't even attack back unless I submit a form, or y'all can come wipe my shit out.
Yeah,
like, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, because she did. She was like, she's like, you can't attack without filling the form, but you can still do a sneak attack. Right. But
she literally was like, even if it's a surprise attack, it needs to be.
We're not gonna tell the other colony.
But hey, they're attacking. Hey, send Squealer through the back to run to the city to go sign the paperwork so we can fight back.
I don't know.
It could have been worse.
I mean, I feel like this.
Yeah, it could have been worse, but it could have been way better.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, T. I mean, I still feel like even though humans use them as slave for the labor, I still feel like Skriller did the same shit. I mean, he did the same thing to damn Queen in a sense. Oh, let's get more babies.
Even though they made him a slave, it's all cool, man. You still can't be wrong. You still can't be mad at him.
Doing the same shit though. There, if that was the case,
like Squiller said, and when they asked him about it, what did Squiller say? He said, "Bro, that's a simple war tactic. At the end of the day, countries is doing that right now all across the world. They might lay ambushes. They blowing up. You feel me? Civilians." Places they know is inhabited, they attacking, and it's cause it's war. And what did Squiller say? If we would have won, none of them lives would have been in vain. We wouldn't be having this conversation, and I wouldn't be the bad guy. The fact that we lost, nigga, now y'all get to continue to treat me like a dumb monster rat slave, and now I'm about to get killed and sentenced to death.
Oh, they didn't kill him.
Had that man naked.
Even worse than killing him, right? They killed that nigga over the span of 20 years. Even worse. No, that was crazy though.
They turned him into slop.
Hey, I swear. Hey, you see when he was in the jar, they had tattooed his brain.
In the
I
museum,
said, damn,
bro.
they put the tattoo on his brain.
For display.
That shit was crazy as fuck. In the museum, right?
I've sent every monster rat in here, but hey, man, y'all want to fuck around?
This
This
is what happened to the captain of the First Reich.
Right. First revolution, man. This what happened to y'all leader.
All right, y'all got anything else for 25? Y'all, man, that was our Shinsekai Yori review, man. Let's get some final thoughts, final scores from the guys. I'll go first, man. I feel like this was it was an alright show, man. All in all, the music was okay. The sound design, I really like. They use a lot of weird sound effects that I didn't think really had a good place in this show. The character designs was, besides a couple like outfit swaps, they're very undetailed, and the most detailed things on these character designs is probably the eyes. So I really wasn't impressed by that. The story was okay. I liked the kind of the mystery they started to build up in the beginning, but the last arc kind of lost me, and a lot of the stuff, like it's almost like they try to build a mystery and then reveal stuff to you when it's supposed to be shocking or a twist, but it's like they've already kind of said it in a way with like the characters theorizing stuff. So it kind of took a hit on that for me. Let me see what else. I think I covered everything: art, animation, sound, story, the characters. The characters was like they was just there. They was like I didn't really feel like it was a lot of depth to them. They was kind of like just generic, characters that, you think of one or two of the characters, you could probably name like 3 or 4 attributes about them, and that's it. So I had to give this show like a 6.5 out of 10. That'd be my final score. Y'all can go.
Yeah, that's like you should go now. I feel like yours might be more aligned with his. I honestly believe that.
Okay. Final thoughts, man. As far as Shinsekai Yuri, man. I'm kind of in line with what Jordan just said. As far as the sound, it didn't really like stand out to me for real. I like the first ending, but other than that, you know what I mean? Like the other sounds or music they used in the show, it didn't really stand out to me. The characters, I enjoyed them. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed them. I do feel like they are a bit more like surface level. It's not too much like personality to them. You know what I mean? Like Satoru's a class clown. Like Shin was the smart kid, but you know what I mean? It wasn't much. There wasn't much like duality to a lot of the characters, so it made them feel like they were kind of one dimensional. I feel like, and also kind of like what Jordan said, I feel like the show did start to build a mystery or intrigue at the beginning. I felt like the show was a bit too heavy on giving us information I feel like the show was too obvious with a lot of the things that they were using to build the mystery, and I feel like it would have been a bit better if, some of those things were more subtle. And then as far as like later on in the show, like we kind of talked about off camera, I feel like the show was for me, it was kind of torn in 2 directions. Like I felt like it was, like trying to do a mystery a bit with like, like what's going on with the committees and the society that the humans lived in. And then the second, or the last part of the show was really more about like the monster rats and, like their kind of mistreatment and them, kind of revolutionizing and rebelling. As far as the action, like I kind of said earlier, it didn't kind of scratch that itch for me. I felt like the powers could have been a bit more, just me personally, like my personal style and taste. I would have liked to see them do a bit more like maybe flashy stuff or, like, I don't know, I would just say like more flashier, like cooler things. Like I like Shinsui, I like what he did, with the palm and shit as far as like catching the explosion. I kind of like the infinite hell. Like I thought that, as far as for Squealer, I thought that was kind of like a interesting punishment that incorporated the use of their power. You know what I mean? Like it's fucked up, but I thought it was pretty interesting. You feel me? That they were able to like, you know what I mean? They were like, okay, we gonna inflict pain on you and heal you. I'm like, damn, that's kind of sick. But other than that, I would say a lot of the elements of that make up the show I like the animation. The characters weren't bad. I like, the setting, different things like that. But as far as like story wise, like plot elements, like I said, I feel like they weren't as subtle as they could have been. I feel like a lot of things could have been more emphasized, and it would have helped the story later on. And I also feel like there were a lot of things that they could have done either or. Like they tried to incorporate a lot and do 2 different directions. And I feel like if they had picked one, you feel me, one or the other, and you feel me, like emphasize that more and gave us more information on it, it would be probably a better show. But for my final review, I would probably have to give this like I'm gonna go with 7. I feel like it's not a bad show at all. Like if you watch it, you know what I mean. You're probably gonna enjoy it. Like I said, it's you know what I mean. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, just as far as like, I wouldn't say it's a great show, but no, that's a good.
All right, put it to 7. Who's next?
So I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I don't think it was like the best in the genre when it comes to like mystery and action and stuff like that, but it had like a nice middle ground. It was good, not great, not phenomenal, but it wasn't bad. If I had to give it a grade, I would say it's like a 7.4, 7.5. I feel like it hits that middle ground, but I've seen a lot worse and a lot better. Yeah,
for sure.
A lot better.
So I can respect that.
Yeah, I feel like 7 is.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah. For my review, the second time going through it, like I said, the first time, I really didn't even put a actual point of rating on this show because I didn't know what I was going to get into as far as watching this, as far as mystery and everything pertains to the show. The theme of it, I definitely called the first time watching it. And I thought it did a great job as far as the first part of it. Second part, I didn't really even pay attention to on the second run on this because it was just like kind of going over the place, even hear from you guys' perspective and review on it. So, I mean, other than that, like Jordan said, the characters, I didn't really gravitate to them like that. They was okay. I mean, some of them had their moments that was like, okay, they may have potential, but they was just okay for most part of it. Loved the outro, the first one. Didn't care about the second part too, outro. Some of the coloring that they use for like describe the tone of the scenes that they'll switch up and with Saki and Shun's moment episode, I think it was like 7 or 8 maybe. Say the soundtrack they used for some of the scenes was meh. It was kind of okay. Some of the loosely information we got as far as their powers goes, like we discussed, it wasn't real thorough and detailed as I like to have been. Even my first go through watching it, didn't really care for it because I just want to see how the show ends, where it's going to. Some plot holes in the show that I wish they addressed, but I didn't really thought that show was all that amazing. I just thought that this show would be interesting to see what these guys would think of it just because of what I saw the reviews and what I heard from certain YouTubers. I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's great, just like they said. So I think my final rating is justified to be just a 7.5. I mean, just for what it's supposed to be. I can't give it no higher than that. Just going my second go through. I just think it's justified to be 7.5. If they had done more to it, I mean, not even making it a longer anime, but just like how you said they pertain to one certain theme or just the plot of the story, however it goes, whatever change around they go through, I think it may have been a little bit better. But for what it is, for the show being mysterious and I guess thriller, supernatural, I think it was just okay for what it's supposed to be at. So that's my final rating for this show.
Yeah, I feel like if we were like newer anime fans, we probably would have gave it like an 8 or something like that.
I think if I really rated the first time watching it, I probably would say that just because I didn't know much about the show at all.
Right.
I mean, you guys didn't know about it, but just because of the time I was watching it, I was still watching more animes and just the shows I watched prior to it. I thought it was a pretty damn good show for what it was. But just actually not going through further detail and reviewing it as far as the attributes that the characters had, the aspects that they had in the show that they was going for, I think it's just a further review amongst you guys and everything like that kind of just altered that initial thought process of it. So,
yeah, I definitely thought it had potential, but with every aspect of the things that it tried to do and it did do, I felt like I've seen this done better, so I just like it was but it's
yeah. So, I think it was like the first one that you've seen of this genre. I could see somebody get
liking it a lot more.
Yeah.
So
definitely wasn't terrible.
Otaku Perspective has spoken, man. We it's fair to say that we think this show is a little overrated, man. An 8.2 on Mile, it might be a little bit of a stretch, man. But without further ado, man, let's see what we watching next, man.
Oh man! So this was not my first option.
Get it.
So I picked something that was right on time. So we'll be here Friday. We're gonna be reacting to the final episode of it, which is right on time. This is either gonna make a lot of people love us or hate us, putting our feet in the fire. We'll be watching the #1 show on Mal, Fearing the Journey of the Beyond.
Oh, shit. Okay. So it's
time to put our feet to the fire. It's more like a slice of life. It's more like a slice of life.
Oh, okay, I heard of that.
From what I know, it's about. So it's like an elf and her companions. Like they just beat the demon lord. Now it's like her day-to-day life, because elves normally have like a super long lifespan. Like a year for us is like a few days for her. And it's like her going through her day-to-day life
after they beat the final
boss. Yeah.
That should be lit. Definitely,
because I've been hearing nothing but. Obviously, he's #1 on Mount. It beat Full Metal Alchemist, so.
Yeah, no, I ain't gonna lie. I have heard that it's really good.
So, what's your thoughts?
That's interesting. I mean, to Dwayne's point, picking the show, I had just picked the show up probably like a week or two ago, so I'm kind of already got to jump on these guys to watch this show. So far, from what I'm seeing, it seems promising. Already, I'm liking from what I'm seeing, but I think as far as from what I've just seen, I just think the pacing of it'll pick up from where it goes. Like I said, it's slice of life. Usually they don't just go gun ho on the first few episodes. It's pretty much just a build up as far as like the characters, everything, and all that. But from what I've seen on the internet, I definitely have high hopes for it from what it has, not just from hearing the reviews, just visually seeing it. The action of the animation and everything, I'm hoping that it's really good as it is. So. I ain't got too much to say more about it. It's interesting you did pick that, but...
Do you know how many episodes is in it total? With this last one coming up?
It's 24, 25 right now.
24, 25.
Yeah. Literally next Friday is the last one.
Nah, I bet. Now that'd be cool. This should be like a cool watch, I think. We'll see.
I had to see.
All right, yeah. I usually don't really go for a lot of like the hype stuff. Like I probably usually like try to wait till the hype dies down. But yeah, this would definitely be a good watch. I'm eager to see, like, is the hype justified?
Right.
And this kind of shows, like, right up my alley with it not being, like, a shonen action or, like, so much action. It's just being more, like, character-driven, story-driven. So definitely eager to check it out. I'm just like, damn, I'm going to have to be at, like, episode 23 by Friday. But other than that, I'm definitely very excited to watch it. And it'll definitely be a great show to review for the podcast. All right. With that being said, man, if y'all like this video, man, give it a like, subscribe, share it with your friends, man.
Yes, sir.
Leave us comments, man. What did you guys think of Shinsekai Yori? What did we get right? What did we get wrong? What shows do you guys want to see us review in the future? But with all that being said, man, Otaku Perspective signing out.
Well, you rose in my city, I know